welcome to TNN's exclusive coverage of the Winn-Dixie 500K. They're set to go racing here at Talladega. So let's go down to the starting grid. Steve Burns.
Mike, Tim Steele has won 10 races on the ARCA schedule this year, including the last 3 in a row. Today, he starts on the pole. Tim, can you make it 4 in a row?
You know, we're really wanting to. You know, I think we've had 3 in a row like 7 different times. And, we're really wanting that 4 in a row really bad, and I can't think of a better place than Talladega to do it, you know. Got to say hi to my daughter Kelsey and my mom, and we'll see you both tonight and love you both.
All right, but don't hand him that trophy. That trip to victory lane isn't guaranteed because the man who sits beside him, Mark Thompson, has 2 Superspeedway victories this year. Mark, outside of row 1, what's your strategy today?
Well, I guess our strategy will have to be to get out front and stay out front.
All right, best of luck. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Steve, the dark horse today could be Matt Hutter, who starts 3rd. He's never won an ARCA race. The young gun's never even competed on a restrictor plate track. But he tested here last week and it paid off in qualifying. Matt, testing's one thing, racing's another. Do you have anything for Tim Steele today?
Well, you know, Tim Steele, you got to count on him being tough and being around all day. I'm kind of new to the whole drafting deal. The first time was yesterday in practice. I drafted with Tim and some of these other experienced guys. Learned quite a bit. My plan is to learn more the first part of this race and hopefully have something for him at the end.
Good luck today. His best finish is 5th in the ARCA series. Starting directly behind is another contender, Mark Gibson. On his mind today, points and pride. He sits only 100 points out of 2nd place in the standings. He thinks he has the horsepower, nay, the kryptonite, to end Tim Steele's 3-race win streak. Mike?
I wonder if Lex Luthor is his crew chief. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the fastest speedway on earth. Mike Joy with Buddy Baker and Bill Venturini. ARCA's fastest ever qualifier here at 205 miles an hour. But that game has changed. They don't run that fast here anymore.
Sure. Looking at the qualifying speeds for today's race, you'll notice they're about 7 miles an hour slower than they've been. Also, there's a big disparity in the field between the fast cars and the rest of the field. There's the reason for that. There's been some rule changes. ARCA has gone to a smaller restrictor plate, a bigger spoiler, and the rear springs in the back of the car have to be a minimum of 300 pounds. That's to keep the spoiler up in the air to help slow the cars down. The faster teams and the better funded teams have been able to test. The other guys, the rest of the field, is using today's race as their testing grounds for the new rules.
But Buddy Baker, winner of 4 Winston Cup races on this speedway, where you sit in qualifying, what does that mean once the green flag drops?
Absolutely nothing. I'll be honest with you. When they drop the green flag, these corners are 5 stories high, 33-degree banking. You have a lot of room here, so where you start, that's just a launching spot. You go into the corners here, you find a good drafting partner, all of a sudden you go by the guy that fast time is and just motor right on by him. So where you start does not have anything to do with where you finish.
Well, how much slower could you be than that pole car in qualifying and still have a strong shot to win here?
Mike, you can be anywhere from 5 to 7 miles an hour off. If you know how to draft, if you have experience, hey, you can run with a guy that's 7 miles an hour faster.
All right, they're rolling here at Talladega. We'll be right back with the start of the Winn-Dixie 500K at Talladega after this. Today's exclusive coverage of the Winn-Dixie 500K is brought to you by Quaker State, the quality your car deserves, and by Miller Lite. At Miller time.
Okay, you got Bill here.
I got to turn up. No, hello. Was that brief enough?
Okay, yeah. How about now? Can you hear me now? It seems a little better. There we go. Now I'm here. Now
Yeah.
I'm here. Okay. Thank you.
But
Today's exclusive coverage of the Winn-Dixie 500K is brought to you by Quaker State, the quality your car deserves. And by Miller Lite, who reminds you that anything can happen at Miller time. First pace lap complete here at the world's fastest speedway. Let's show you how they'll line up here at Talladega today. On the pole, Tim Steele, 10-time race winner this year, and Mark Thompson, who's won on the speedways of Charlotte and Michigan. Matt Hutter makes his 6th ARCA start this year. Bill Baird, the veteran from Kentucky, ran 4th at Daytona. Mark Gibson makes his 19th Talladega start. He won at St. Louis. And Jimmy Kitchens, the Alabama driver, was 5th at Michigan in June. Craig Butts is one of the newest members of the Alabama gang. He shares row 4 with C.W. Smith. Kenny Martin in row number 5 with Andy Hillenberg, the 1995 ARCA champ. Then it's Ed Barrier, runner-up at Charlotte and Pocono, and Bobby Gerhardt, the 10-year veteran of ARCA racing. Randall Ritter has the new GM small block engine in number 31, and Mark Stahl was 5th here 2 years ago. Harris Devane ran 2nd here in 95 when he ran out of fuel in the last lap, and Frank Kimmel, who's 2nd in the point standings. Dan Pardis, a graduate of the NASCAR Dash Series, and Kevin Ray, the 19-year-old driver from 6 miles away in East Tavoga. Bob Strait, a 13-time ARCA race winner, and Glenn Morgan in the 10th row. John Wilkinson III, 21 years old, from the famous racing town of Hueytown, Alabama, and Mike Cicchetti. Then it's Jeff Finley, who finished 3rd at Winchester, and Dale Kreider, the IMSA veteran, making his 3rd start of the year. Jerry Hill and Mike McNeese share row 13. McNeese makes his 1st start of the year. Joel White and Jim Lamoureux, a graduate of the old NASCAR Sportsman Series. Kevin Counselor, the Florida driver, makes his 2nd start, and Glenn Miller has 2 top 10s in 3 starts. Brian Kahns and Doc Watson will share the 16th row. Then it's Drew White at Birmingham's Doug Reed III, go-kart champ, David Ray Boggs in the 4, and Bob Spate in number 5. David Frog Hall in the 19th row, and Josh Baltus, whose granddad's the promoter out at Eldora. Then it's Kirk Piercy and Norm Benning filling the 20th row. One non-starter, David Ray Boggs, number 4, has broken a timing chain, and they pushed him behind the wall. Let's have a look at the in-car cameras. We'll ride along with 4 drivers today. This is car 11, Glenn Morgan, Texas Marine Machine. And we'll ride with all 3 of the point chasers. Tim Steele, the point standing leader, starts on the pole.
You can remind me on the race. I might not talk to you, but you can remind me.
And we'll also ride with Kevin Ray, who starts in the 18th position here. Richard Petty driving experience machine. Frank Kimmel, the Advance Auto Part Chevy number 2 point man, starting back in the field. And Mark Thompson outside the front row in the Midway Island machine. That's a Ford. Lights out on the pace car. For a start next time by. They're down in turn 1. There's a look at the Boggs car. Still trying to get that Purina machine in, but it looks like he's climbed out of the car, and the problem appears to be terminal. Okay, first lap, Buddy Baker. First lap at Talladega. Professor Baker, the Buck Baker Driving School. What do we want to do here?
The main thing you want to do is have a good, clean start. You don't want to act like you're going to go and not go, because these cars, when you build the speed up on a major speedway, when they drop the green flag, you're running faster than you do on a short track at full acceleration.
117 laps today, 173.9 miles an hour is the race record. The late Grant Adcox, he is the holder of that one. In this race today, 14 Fords, 22 Chevys, 4 Pontiacs. Ford with a leg up on the Manufacturers Championship. And of course, point leader Tim Steele with 10 victories, and Mark Thompson lead the Ford ranks here. Second row is all Chevys, Matt Hutter and Bill Baird.
I look for Tim Steele to really accelerate when they drop the green flag, and Mark and Hutter are just behind him there, and the 1 car will go right with him. I'm sure they're going to try to hook up and get away from some of these cars.
Well, yeah, Matt Hutter's father's Ron Hutter, the famous engine builder, and he's got a good, strong motor underneath that hood. And he should get a good jump and be able to hang on with Tim.
All right, Bill Venturini, two-time ARCA champ. What do you tell the young drivers in this field that don't have a lot of high-speed experience like this?
Well, their adrenaline's pumping. Their heart's going 240. They're excited. Or probably their the foot on the gas pedal shaking right now. They just got to make sure they don't miss a shift.
There goes the pace car. They'll come down, and the start finishing line here is almost going in turn one. You notice they're already in the front dog leg. They're not accelerating yet.
They're in the tri-oval where the finish line is at Daytona. But here at Talladega, as Buddy pointed out, it's down past pit road. Field coming to speed, green flag in the wind. And Mark Thompson edges out past Tim Steele, but only by half a car length as they go to turn one. Field still nicely double file.
You see Tim Steele now has about a car length lead as they start off the corner there. And here comes Thompson back on the outside to run side by side coming off the corner there. They're doing the wrong thing. That gives everybody else a chance to close up. Now they're falling.
And now they fall back in line. But the other thing is that they were still in third gear coming off of that second corner. They didn't shift into fourth gear until midway down the back straightaway. Not one car yet is really up to full speed.
3 wide in the banking coming off turn number 4. Oh, but Buddy, you said earlier today when we were talking, that's just routine here.
That's the norm, really and truly. I mean, you'll watch them in the dog leg here. They'll be 3 and 4 wide back in the field as they come by. You can see right now Steele leads the first lap as they come by.
4 abreast, midpoint in the field behind these 3 leaders.
Well, like Buddy said, there's one thing about Talladega that's different than almost any racetrack you run at, is that there is no set group. You can run low, you can run high, as you can see right here.
All right, black, Thompson, 86, red, Steele, number 16. You can see that Matt Hutter went to the high line with Tim Steele, and that's the lead.
Well, you see Tim Steele there in the 1 car. He's the 3rd car, the red one there. You're riding as they head into turn 3 here. Mark Thompson's very strong on the bottom. Tim Steele fighting side by side as they come through turn 2.
Right with them is Matt Hutter. Now you see Hutter lined up there on the high side. Now we're a little deeper in the field where it's still 2 by 2 for the lead through the tri-oval.
I've got to give Mark Thompson some credit. He's been able to hang on to Tim Steele. Tim's got Matt Hutter tucked in behind him. Technically, that should be a better draft. Now you got Bill Barrett actually tucking in behind Mark Thompson. So now we've actually got a 4-car draft all side by side.
4 by 4 for the lead, but they were 4 wide coming through the tri-oval behind them. It's a real knot of cars. There they are. You see they're still 3 wide behind the lead pack all the way around turns 1 and 2. For the lead, boy, Thompson is strong, going in alone on the bottom, no help.
No help at all, and he's been able to kind of hang in. As a matter of fact, as they go into 3, you can see him actually drive past Tim for about a half a car length.
These 4 cars are gone with the wind. They have left the rest of the pack deep in their wake. Thompson has no help in that bottom lane. And he's got the lead.
I'm going to tell you right now, if I was Matt Hutter, I don't care if I didn't have experience. I'd have to give that run for the lead right now. He has a strong car. He's running in 3rd there. He's run up towards the lead 2 or 3 times, looked to the outside, thought better of it. He's going to school right now, but he's doing a great job.
Back straightaway, 4-car breakaway, then a pack of 20-some. That's Hutter. That's the nose of Hutter's Chevrolet right behind Tim Steele, and down to the bottom is Mark Thompson.
Well, that's the first time since they've dropped the green flag that actually Tim Steele's been able to break away from Mark Thompson.
Now the 4th car is Bill Baird. He's now actually in 3rd place.
That's an old Kenny Schrader car right there.
Now the reason that you see Mark Thompson going back, that's a lap car on the inside there, and Tim Steele drafted on him down the back straightaway, giving him momentum to really pull him right on by Thompson as they went down the back straightaway.
And look, the pack is catching them as a result. It's now 2 cars out in front of a pack of 6.
Well, if these 6 guys that are running like from 3rd on back stay in a straight line and kind of run nose to tail, they'll catch the first 2 lead cars. It's just something about Daytona Talladega. 6 cars are definitely faster than 2.
First breakout car is that black machine of Mark Gibson. He climbs the ladder there to 5th place. There's your lead. Steele and Hutter launched right on to him.
Now you can tell at 3rd car coming there, the black car 66 of Thompson, you will see a strong race car here. He'll run these leaders back and put himself back in 3rd spot, right nose to tail with the first 2. They broke away about like before, Mike, but you can see he's right back in the fight here.
Bill Barrett's about to lose 4th place right behind them. A lot of cars moving up on these 3. Big pack now. There's Baird with that orange spoiler in the front, and look, they're going 3 wide against him.
I don't think Mark Thompson wants to work with anybody. He's got a good car, but look at this. 3 wide going into turn 3.
Ed Barrier, the black car on the bottom. Mark Gibson is in there, and those 2 may have touched just a little. Jimmy Kitchens, the white car with the red roof, 47 on the bottom lane. Buddy, does the word patience have any meaning here?
These guys are, this is close to heaven for a race car driver as you can get right here. Great race cars. They're all, you can see going around here 3 wide, getting the grooves worked out. Right now it's a process of really working with different cars and finding out where the strong suit is so you can make a move on the lead car. But they better hurry up and sort it out. When they run side by side like you're doing right now, the lead is nose to tail and in line. They're much quicker than these cars running side by side because of the draft.
Battle for 2nd place, break out for the lead. Here comes Thompson down to the bottom again. As Steele took that low line, Thompson dropped to the bottom of the racetrack to go with him, and they may leave Mad Hutter. It kind of depends on how far Steele drifts up the racetrack. And he does to go around a lapped car. Thompson cannot take advantage.
Yeah, the minute Tim Steele moved up into that higher group, it actually took all the advantage away that Mark Thompson had.
Tim Steele, Matt Hutter, Mark Thompson in these opening laps at Talladega. We'll be right back.
Hey, the story on the 97, he passed on the outside before start and finish.
Okay.
And then he came, he didn't stay below the blend line because he's after a stop and go, so then they made him come back in again. So he's had 2 stop and goes, 1 for passing before the start and 1 for the blend line.
Not a good day for a guy from this area.
No.
Yep. Hey, also, I've got something we can talk about as far as Hutter, who's had a lot of lack of experience here. He's got a Winston Cup spotter helping him out, and he's not the only one.
Well, they run him down.
And I could follow that up with Andy Hillenberg talking about experience here on the track.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can see the guys behind him stayed in a straight line, and they
Yeah, once they get single file, they run the leaders right back down.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Guys, it may take a minute. I'm going to try to work that pack past you before I throw to you.
Hey, no problem.
Bill Baird looks pretty strong. Right?
He does. We need to give a lot of car numbers because the viewers aren't familiar with these guys.
Gotcha.
Right, good point.
Me was. Me did.
Is that Jimmy Kitchens right behind him in the 47 car?
White car, red roof.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, Pam, do you know what position Hillenberg is in right now?
We have no computer scoring.
Thanks, 80 car.
Guys, we have no computer scoring, no help.
Yeah, we have nothing down here either.
Okay.
How come we're black?
Also, this monitor's cutting out. The main program monitor keeps cutting out.
We're out. Everything's out.
It should be. Welcome back to Talladega. Tim Steele continues to hold the front spot against Matt Hutter and Mark Thompson. Once these 3 cars got single file, the pack closed in on them. Now that's Jimmy Kitchens down to the inside. He's got a lot of company up high. And almost trade a little paint there.
He can go back and pay his painter for not putting that extra coat of paint on that car. That saved him just then.
Excuse me, wasn't Kitchens with Dan
Pardis, yeah.
A little further back in the field. Let's check on pit road. Here's Matt Yoakum.
Well, Mike, we talked earlier in the show about Matt Hutter's first start here at Talladega. But he's got an extra set of eyes up in the grandstands. His spotter is Ricky Rudd's spotter, Dale Cagle. He's reminding Matt, look, be patient. Wherever the 16 car Steele goes, you go with him, learn what he's doing, and then we'll be there for the second half of the race. Just more experience trying to help out this young gun here at Talladega. Steve Burns?
And one guy who has a lot of experience on the super speedways is Andy Hillenberg in the 80 car. Andy qualified 10th. Now he's become a test driver for many Winston Cup teams. He has tested for Joe Gibbs, Sadko, and Daytona and Talladega. A lot of experience on Andy Hillenberg's side today.
Hillenberg currently 14 in the running order.
You know, Matt Yoakum brought up the point about having the spotter helping Matt Hutter. Dale, same spotter for my son Billy. What a difference having a West Coast spotter for these young drivers. It really helps keep them.
A few of them up there today. We saw Bobby Hutchins upstairs and Donnie Epling. There's a few of them involved. Watching Andy Hillenberg right there, number 80, right behind Kevin Ray. Young driver from East Tavoga in the Richard Petty looking car.
Battle of the two driving schools.
Yeah, that's right.
The Richard Petty driving school and a fast track driving school.
Of course, the third one represented up here.
Yeah, we got one running a little closer to the front. Craig Butts is a graduate of our driving school, and he's doing quite well. He's basically a rookie, and he's doing quite well right now.
Riding with Frank Kimmel, the point standing runner-up. Move you up to the fourth place battle here.
Wow, look at Jimmy Kitchens making a move on the outside of Bill Barrett. The 47 car, the Dunlop Golf sponsored car.
Actually, I think is that Kitchens right behind him?
Oh, that's Kitchens behind him. That's right. I'm sorry.
That's how close they are, folks. Too close to call. Right down through the trial with the lead car then, Pack. Tries to close off the bottom lane. That was 59. Mark Gibson. His car also white with a red roof. Gibson leads that pack in pursuit of the leaders.
You know, Mike, you're looking at the leaders coming off turn 2 there. They're running single file. These guys have doubled up. They're racing very hard, but they're losing a lot of great time to the leaders right now. The first 3 cars have moved off about a 2-second interval there down the back straightaway.
There's the interval as you describe it, buddy. Now that second pack has gone single file. How long of a freight train do you need to build to get to where you have the maximum pull on that front group?
Well, what they need to do, if they'll get single file like you are right there, they'll run them right back down, because you have the lead car out there cutting that big hole in the air for everybody else to run through. And the further back in the group there, you just get more turbulence that pulls you forward. But as you see, they double up going in the corner. That's a little time, but if they'll stay single file, they'll catch the leaders.
Now here they're going around that yellow car is 97 Doug Reed. He's been black flagged, and then black flagged again for going up above the blend line. So he is now at least a lap down. My question is a 12-car train any faster than a 6-car train or a 3-car train?
I think the maximum, really efficient, if you really want to call it that, if you get more than 3 or 4 cars in a train, what you have is a problem, because somebody's going to jump out and make it double file.
Just like it's happening right now.
Just like that. So the maximum is 3 or 4 cars really working well in single file, and they're actually pushing each other down the straightaway. The air off the front cars cutting the hole in the air. The rest are in the turbulence pulling forward and actually pulling the front car forward also.
Mike, you've seen race car drivers. Have you ever seen 6 race car drivers agree to do anything? Stay in line? Not for long. You're right. They'll stay there for maybe 1 lap. That's it. And somebody says, well, I'm a little faster. My car's a little better, and they try to get out of line. 3 or 4 guys will use their head and pull away from them.
And when you're in that draft, you're only running half throttle, and you're sitting there saying, I can go until you get out in the wind. Steve Burns?
Mike, we just heard Chad Cummings, the crew chief for Tim Steele, say, if the 66 can get up there with you, we can run fast. And Tim's response was, that's okay, but I'm not waiting for him. Tell him to come on if he wants to go.
Got a little work to do to get there. Tim Steele is your leader. Matt Hutter in second. That 66 of Mark Thompson is the 3rd place car. And Mark Gibson has fought his way up to 4th. Matt Hutter in trouble, or did he just get shuffled? And boy, they are freight training him.
Well, that's in. If he got out of the draft, that's his fault.
Okay.
Yeah, he let him go by on the outside.
Yeah, and paid the price.
No, he probably backed off to let him get by.
Ooh, he's got the kid in there in the middle. Oh, rookie.
He's all right.
Yeah. Oh, man. I don't like when they go black.
It's a big weekend in racing, and you won't miss a thing when you turn to TNN. Up to the minute, highlights, interviews, and more. Tomorrow at noon Eastern Time, race day here on the leader, TNN Motorsports.
Mike, we have something that happened while we were away there. You can see the one of Matt Huddard. He's really dropped back in the pack. I think he moved over to let the lead cars go. I think he felt that Mark Thompson was a little quicker. He moved to the outside, and boy, he got caught by a freight train.
Matt Yoakum?
Well, Mike, Matt Huddard found out what it's like to be on the Chevrolet Manufacturers Island all by himself. A whole bunch of Fords blew on by him. Johnny Allen told me he's just out there learning, and he learned what it was like to race up there with a bunch of Fords all by himself in a Chevrolet.
Well, I can sure tell you, you don't have many friends on this racetrack. And if you're out there racing in this draft, you got to find maybe one guy. There will only be one driver that will actually let you hook up with him and run with him. Other than that, everyone will kind of, they'll lie to you. A race car driver will do whatever he has to get to the front.
Yeah, he didn't get hung out to dry. He got clotheslined. Here comes Mark Thompson. Once he caught Tim Steele, he wanted on by.
Now you can see Tim Steele in the 16 car pull back down on Mark Thompson. He used that lap car there as a pick.
Yep.
That was Brian Kahns, who helped Tim Steele to maintain his lead. Now here comes Thompson for another run as they come through the tri-oval. Another lap car. Steele negotiates his way past the 55 of Mike McGee.
Yeah, this time the slow car didn't really help Tim Steele because Mark Thompson's got the better run going into the corner.
With Thompson right down against the white line.
Here comes Steele back as they start down the back straightaway. He don't want anybody else to lead. You can see him pulling over there. Now Mark Thompson better come on. If he's a racer, he goes for it. Yeah. He pulled right back up there. I'd have never lifted either.
Size 3 hat, size 14
hey,
shoe.
Whatever it takes. You don't fill the wallet by backing off.
That's for sure. But now look what that side-by-side racing has done. It's allowed the pack to catch them. As they head off turn 4, back to the tri-oval. 19 laps complete.
But, you know, you were talking about the Fords and Chevy camps. These two Ford drivers, they may be also testing the waters to see actually whoever's leading is faster. Maybe they're faster with Mark leading. Maybe they're faster with Tim Steele. Their crew chiefs may have already talked about this, and they're actually, now they've got the stopwatch to see which way the car driver is faster.
One thing you can see they want to do is get away from that pack.
Ow! There's a lot of wheel jerking going back here in that group back here, making it 3 wide down the back straightaway. I was looking back in the pack there, Mike. The one thing you never want to do on a major speedway is turn the steering wheel real quick. That breaks the rear wheels loose, and boy, you talk about a ride, it feels like you pick up 15 miles an hour when you turn around here at 200.
What they were all trying to do is get a tow off that black car. That's Ed Barrier. His dad, Max, a great modified driver, up on the roof spotting for him today.
Yeah.
Ed Barrier holds 3rd place.
Ed Barrier, a tremendous driver, and that's one of Junie Donlevy's old cars there. And, you know, he's just a super good young race car driver. I look to him to move up into the Busch Grand National and eventually in the Webster Cup.
Now right behind him is 32. That's Mark Stahl, the West Coast driver, who's had a lot of success on the super speedways. Matt?
Mike, I talked to Buddy Hobbs, Mark Stahl's crew chief. He told me Mark is not even mentioning his broken rib that he got at Charlotte in a crash last week. He says the car is handling pretty well. It's a slight push. He says we're just going to hang on right along and don't get out of the draft until our first round of pit stops, which should come around lap 45. And that's what a lot of the crew chiefs I polled this morning told me. Around lap 42 to 45, they're expected to hit for their first round of stops.
Now have a look at the car right behind Stahl, that all-white machine, number 14. That's Craig Butts from Montgomery, Alabama. First super speedway race, buddy.
What a great job he's doing. I talked to him a long time yesterday. I said, you know, it's real simple if you do it right. It gets very complicated if you try to do things you're not qualified to do. Follow these guys, see their weakness, work on that, but don't do things that you think you can't do, because if you think you can't do it, you probably can't.
That's a James Finch car as well, and he's well positioned in this field. Donnie Epler, Fat Boy, is a sitting spotter, and all the Winston Cup folks know Donnie. And
yeah, I think
he's spotting for Craig.
I think we just saw him come past our window as they threw him off the road.
Yeah, perhaps. Down to the bottom comes 59, Mark Gibson, one of the championship contenders. He's in that bottom lane by himself.
In our the ARCA last practice session yesterday, Mark Gibson was his fastest car in practice. So we know he's got a car that can run up front.
Just got to get there. As he battles with the one of Matt Hutter, who's moving back up after getting freight trained.
Matt Hutter is the number 1 there on the top for the people that just joined us. Very strong car. It's a team car to Craig Butts' car. Finch owns the car. A lot of people remember it when Jeff Purvis was the driver in this car. It's very, very strong on Major Speedway.
Jeff Purvis had a lot of success for James Finch. Released from that ride, Dale Shaw hired at mid-season for the Busch ride for Finch and unexpectedly let go this week. Dale Shaw rideless and looking for next season.
2 team cars there. You see them getting together there. You can see Matt Hutter. He dropped way back a while ago. Now he's going to school. Oh, easy, son.
What school would that be, buddy?
That would be don't do it.
The number 50 car of Kenny Martin, Mr. Gasket sponsored Ford. As they came off the corner, you can see that there was actually an aero problem that made the cars actually get sucked together.
Let's talk about that a little bit. What that really feels like, you pass a truck on the interstate and all of a sudden your car kind of buffs back and forth. Same thing. Major Speedway is exactly like passing a big truck and then buffing your car back and forth. This is a little more extreme, Lewis, at 200.
Well, the 737 can take off at around 140 miles an hour and get airborne. Imagine how much air these cars are pushing here at 190 miles an hour. It can really have an effect on the cars all around.
And if you notice on one of the graphics that was on a couple laps ago, the pole speed was 187 miles an hour. The last lap they ran was 191. That's all just due to the aero fact on drafting and being able to cut through the wind.
Okay, 2 Fords at the front of the field. Mark Thompson, the black car, and Tim Steele, the point leader in this red car. They've got a bit of distance on those Chevrolets, and leading that Chevrolet pack are the 2 James Finch-owned cars. Matt?
Mike, you mentioned about the recent driver change at Phoenix Racing's Busch Series car. I talked to James Finch this week, and he told me that Kevin LePage will be in the car next week at California. It's a one-race deal. Just kind of get a little look-see to see how the chemistry is between LePage and the team. They don't have any plans yet for the 1998 season, although they will run the entire schedule with Lance Snacks as the sponsor.
All right, at Talladega, 25 laps are complete. As you look at Ed Barrier, who currently runs in third ahead of Mark Stahl and Bill Baird.
Here we go.
Hello.
Hey, Matt.
Yes, sir.
That was great. On the island of the Chevrolet Island all by itself. I loved it.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
By the way, I've got a good story about you and the 46 car.
Uh-oh.
That you may not even know about.
Maybe I don't want to know, huh?
I know where the number. Well, you might not want to know.
Well,
I know where the number originated from.
The 46?
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't think I ever drove a 46.
Oh,
Okay.
You'll have to find out.
Mm.
Ooh.
Maybe I don't want to.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, these guys are motoring. Mark Thompson's quicker in front, I think.
Yep.
Well, what do you want me to say about it?
I want to get these guys on the clock. Can y'all...
I can say, you think the racing is close here at Talladega?
1.05. We get a lap.
You should see how they get it even at the short.
Also,
ARCA's July 4th weekend fireworks were not confined.
Also, when we get a chance sometime, I want to talk about Jimmy Kitchen's 2 spotters. He's got Bobby Hutchins and Tim Overby Skinner spotters, because what they're doing is they're using this as an RD session for Mike Skinner, because they both are going to spot for Skinner tomorrow.
Okay.
And they've never worked together as 2 sets of eyes, so they're going to kind of use this as an R&D deal.
Yep. What's that?
I'm kind of proud of Craig.
Yeah. Okay.
He's been in the top 10 all the whole way. Craig Butts.
What?
Craig has been in top 10 all the whole race. He's running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right now.
Yeah.
Started 7th. He's actually outrunning Matt.
Yeah.
That boy won't be fit to live with.
Brought to you by Glafal Luxury Vans and Trucks, the choice of top NASCAR tracks, teams, and drivers, and the official fan conversion company of NASCAR. Call for a dealer near you.
The lead pack has dwindled to 2 cars. Mark Thompson and Tim Steele have hooked up 190.3 miles an hour, buddy, their last lap.
You can see Mark Thompson there going in on the bottom groove there. The flat part of the racetrack is right under the white line there, but it's not actually flat. As he starts through the corner, he lets the car have its head off the corner, but you can see that Tim Steele is very happy sitting right behind him there. What they've done, they probably had him time these cars and said, Mark Thompson's a little quicker in front, and they're getting away from his pack if they can.
They have broken away by 2.4 seconds from 3rd place on back. That's Ed Barrier, the black car, in 3rd. In 4th is Mark Stahl. And in 5th, 59, Mark Gibson. And 6th, Greg Butts, an all-white Chevrolet. First super speedway ever. 7th. We'll have a look a little further back. 7th is Bill Baird.
Well, as you can see, when they all get in a straight line, everybody kind of moves up to bumper here. You get a big long train going. They keep it up, they'll be able to catch the two lead cars again.
Mike, do you realize they're still averaging 187 miles an hour around this racetrack? They're not waiting on anyone. You know, they're running pole speeds right now every lap, and these guys are hooked up and really getting the job done.
Here's the pack that's figured out they've got to stay single file to catch the leaders.
Well, you said they're running pole speeds. Only one guy ran that pole speed, buddy. So these guys, most of these guys are running 7 miles or 6 miles an hour faster than they've run all weekend. So this is kind of new to them. Their cars may not be handling the same.
That's just what Buddy said at the top of the show. There are cars in that pack right there running 187, 188 miles an hour that were qualified 6 to 7 miles an hour slower than the pole car. They're right in that lead pack.
And the other thing you don't have a rookie out there anymore. They've already made their mistakes and recovered from them, so they're getting better every lap and more competitive. So this thing's going to heat up as they get down to the few laps left to go.
2.6 seconds the gap from the 2 leaders back to this pack. Ed Barrier, the black car, in 3rd. Mark Gibson right with them. And Craig Butts, the white machine. And then Bill Baird. Now the 3rd pack of cars has really lost the lead tow. I mean, they're nearly a straightaway behind this 2nd pack.
Yeah, that's Harris Devane and Kevin Ray and Dan Pardis right now running bumper to bumper. But like you said, I don't think this group is going to be able to catch the 2nd group.
You can see you're looking back out of Kevin Ray's car down the back straightaway. They seem to be running just as well as the front group, but once you lose the real fast muscle cars, you need the speed to pull back up on them. This group fell out of the draft, and that's what happens to you. You just drop right out of contention.
Look like little ducklings all in a row trying to catch the that big V formation, head south for the winter.
They better turn into the Swan real quick if they're going to catch that lead bunch, because they are checking out.
They've got to go. There are your 2 leaders. Mark Thompson towing Tim Steele around the speedway here at Talladega, Alabama. That's where they continue to run here. We'll be right back with live coverage on the Nashville Network.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I like it.
Better have a little fun with it. Yeah. I can hardly wait.
Hey, we're about maybe anywhere from like 11 to 15 laps to the first round of pit stops. I'd like to do something on guys trying to make deals with people to pit with them so they have a drafting partner when they come in.
That would be a good report for you.
I lost a race at Daytona because of that.
Tell us after he does that. Tell us.
Yep. This is your dance today.
All right. Was that
mine's tomorrow?
Yes.
Say again. Well, not so much that, but the 16, they're talking about adjustments, and it's, I mean, they're going to make some pretty radical adjustments.
As a matter of fact, it was here.
Okay.
All right. Bill wants to comment off of Matt, and then let me go back to Steve. Okay.
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 No problem. I'll tell you what, it's weird having you talking to me on my radio. I'm used to being in the left.
Boy, they.
It wasn't you, it was him saying he's not used to having you talking in his radio. Oh boy, are we gonna have some fun with this? From race cars to country stars, connecttocountry.com, your personal source for all things country. Here at the fastest speedway on earth, and these two drivers, Mark Thompson and Tim Steele, are trying to motor away from the field. We've been caution-free so far here at Talladega, and Matt Yoakum, they're beginning to think about pit stops.
Well, Mike, one thing that we always talk about here at Talladega and Daytona is in the draft, when you pit, you need to have someone pit with you so you have someone to draft with once you come out of pit road. Mark Thompson, he's trying to play Monty Hall. He's trying to cut a deal with anybody. Right now, there are no takers.
Boy, can I relate to that. I was here a couple years ago leading the race, just like Mark Thompson is right now. I had made a deal. We supposedly had made a deal with the Kenny Schrader car about pitting on lap, say, 62. What happens is I pit a lap early. My mistake. I come down pit road. I'm all by myself. I'm hung out to dry. When I come back out, there's nobody to draft with. The next lap, him and the third place cars come in. They hook up. They blow right by.
And you lost the race?
Oh, definitely.
Oh.
Finish second. Finish second. That's definitely, you have to find a dancing partner, even on pit road. You think it's just on the racetrack. You got to pit together, too, so that when you come out, you got someone to race.
All right, Steve Burns, what kind of adjustments will they make on these pit stops?
Well, the crew down here on the 16 car in heavy discussion, because although Tim Steele looks like he's really hooked up to the racetrack, they're going to add 4 pounds to all 4 tires, 4 pounds of air pressure, and make a major track bar adjustment, taking 2 rounds out. So that sounds very technical, but I know Buddy and Bill know what all those terms mean, and they're not exactly good at this point in the race.
I don't know why you'd want to make a 4-pound adjustment on all 4 tires. All that's going to do is just kind of let the car skate a little more through the corners.
That's the one thing. It may be getting a little too much downforce, and they're trying to cancel some of it out with air pressure, making the tire lose a little bit of grip. That's what you put more air pressure in one for.
Now you see Mark Gibson, sliding up right there. And there's that white car of Craig Butts, the rookie, just ahead of Gibson. Going to thread the needle.
Now that I didn't teach him at the driving school.
Oh, sir.
He learned that on his own, but you know what he done there? He's all by himself there. He does have a little bit of help from one car on the inside there on the draft, and he's got a great race car, but if he keeps running on the bottom like that, he's going to run out of real estate before too long.
Was he in a situation, Buddy, with that lap car where if you lift, you lose?
Well, he's in that situation right now. There's cars that are running just as well as he is on the outside, and you see that lap car really held him up coming off.
Gavin Counselor, the green car, down to the bottom of the racetrack, and let's find some running room on the inside of Bill Baird. Almost got together right there.
Well, you can see lack of momentum. He's dropping back through there like rain through a drain gutter now. He's really got to regroup and get himself back on track.
85, Bobby Gerhart, the yellow car, the Pennsylvania driver, moving up, and now Butts has found a place in line. Well, Gerhart sliced to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to pull a toe off the lapped car. He wants to get by Butts, and it looks like he's going to do it.
Butts was feeling some feelings in his body that Buddy or no driving school could ever teach you. It's just something that when you get like that, it puts tingles through your whole body.
Watch that white car, middle of the screen, middle of that pack.
Ow! Oh, they touched. You can see the tire smoke come on.
And I don't care how brave you are or how many times you race at Talladega, when you get hit like that, that foot comes up off the floor. Or it better.
Well, Butts is still hanging on to the back of that pack with Gerhart. There's number 1, Matt Hutter.
Matt Hutter's back, back caught up with the pack here. He's still in the back part of it, but he dropped back considerably a lot earlier, but it seems like he's got his momentum back up now.
Mark Gibson right in the thick of that, but this time he's got a good car to trail that 90 of Ed Barrier. Now Gibson And that red and white 59 goes to the high side. It's going to take a spot away here for Berrier. Move up to third place.
You know, every time I see them doing this, I say they're going to have a problem coming off that corner. And you think about old Desi there. Lucy, we got a problem. And you can see it happening right there. You cannot crowd it. You can't take other people for granted here. You have to make those moves when you can make them. If you think you can't make it, you won't.
You realize in hundreds of thousands of households, when you raise your voice like that, people run from the refrigerator back to the couch to see what just happened.
I'm telling you, they don't know the severity of touching somebody at 200 miles an hour. The back of that car don't weigh as much as the sandwich wrapper.
That's right. Kevin Ray's made a pit stop. He comes back out with Harris Devane.
Yeah, you can see right now we're 41 laps into the race, and some of the teams are now starting to worry about pit stops.
Andy Hillenberg's made a stop and comes back out, and so has Frank Kimmel, the number 2 point man. So we're within the pit stop window. Green flag all the way, 41 laps complete. I think that's 42 now.
Now, Mike, most of these guys will say when Tim Steele and Thompson decide to stop, let me know when they're coming in. If it looks like some of our guys might be coming down the pit road, let me know when they start. You want to stay with the fast cars if you possibly can.
Bob Spaeth has made his pit stop. You ride with Tim Steele. Lined up on the back bumper of Mark Thompson, the race leader.
Well, you can see on the last graphic we showed that the lap speed was 189 miles an hour.
Coming around through the tri-oval, Doc Watson has spun right in the grass of the tri-oval before start finish, and caution is out. This will be a tough break for the cars that have come onto pit road, which include now Joel White, Josh Baltus, and C.W. Smith leading their stops.
Yeah, it is a bad break for Frank Kimmel, and now he's going to be a lap down because Mark Thompson and Tim Steele weren't elected to stay out, didn't make their pit stop. Now that the yellow's out, they'll be able to pit without losing a lap.
You see Doc Thompson there, he's cranking it back up. The smoke you see coming out of the back, he's refired. He don't go back out there. Oh boy, I hope nobody's coming. That's all I can tell you.
Doc Watson. Something rubbing back.
He's got a lot of problems with the car. He's got a tire rubbing there. You can see the smoke coming out of it. Well,
and we're under caution at lap 44 for the first time today.
Well, at least one thing you can see by looking at the car, he spun through the grass, but doesn't look like he hit anything.
You know, I'm looking at the car and I said, it's smoking just a little bit, but I'm not sure that that's not a bit of a clutch problem or something like that. When he refired and went up the racetrack, a lot of times you slip the clutch and it makes it smoke like he was.
Yeah, he could have been just spinning the tires because they pull such a tall gear right here, you know, up 3.0 rear end gear, and you got to almost spin the tires to get out of pit road or to get the car moving.
So it'll probably be another lap before pit road is open. We'll have the pace car pick up the field before the ARCA officials open pit road.
Well, the last lap before the yellow, they ran 189 miles an hour. That's still 2 miles an hour faster than the pole speed. And that's at what, after 46 laps or 44 laps of green flag racing?
Well, you got to tell them why, though. That's the perfect draft where one car is pushing, the other's pulling. You have such a great hookup there between two cars getting through the air very cleanly, and they actually make the performance of the car much better when they push each other around the racetrack.
There's no feeling like drafting at 200 miles an hour.
How about drafting the Leeward? That's one of the Norwegian Cruise Line's primo cruise ships. December 8th through 12th, it's headed for Cozumel, Mexico, and Key West, Florida. For reservations on the NASCAR family cruise, call 888-491-4950, and you'll hear.
Can you hear me? Yep, I got you loud and clear. I had you the whole time.
Sing, buddy.
Sorry, Bondo was wrong with it. It's just
Oh boy.
Well, that's what it does.
That would be a fun time. The Leeward, we've been on the Leeward. That's
absolutely great. And I tell you, it's a fun thing. I talked to all the people that went on that cruise last year. They said it was just fantastic.
Can you water ski off the back of that?
I wouldn't try that.
No, not when
there's the turbulence would be about like the draft on the back of one of these race cars at 200. You wouldn't make it very far.
Plus, they do a skeet shoot off the stern, so you wouldn't want to be skiing behind. Never mind. Bob Strait will make a pit stop here. And again, pit road now has been open, so this will be a legal stop for Bob Strait. And here comes the rest of the field.
I might explain, this is the cars that are on the lead lap, and most of the lap down cars, they're not allowed to pit on the same time with the cars that are on the lead lap, so they'll have to go around and come in next lap.
All right, Steve Burns is in the leader's pits. Steve?
And remember, Mike, they're going to make a pretty big adjustment on Tim Steele's number 16. They're going to add air pressure, and they put the wrench in that's going to adjust the track bar. That will adjust the weight distribution to the left front of the car, rather. 2 rounds they go up on the track bar. It's going to be a 4-tire change. Mark Thompson is also in. They are going to make no adjustments on the 66 car. Crew Chief Bob Bissinger said, "This is your day, Mark." Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Matt Hutter, Craig Butts, and Mark Stahl, all in pit road at my end. All 3 cars are going to have 4-tire change. As you can see, a little bit of slow on the left front of Hutter's team. Mark Stahl beats him out. No adjustments to Hutter's car. Craig Butts, a little bit of a longer stop. They have a lot of guys that picked up today to help pit the car. They made sure they got all the fuel in, and Butts is now down and away.
All right, we'll reset the running order for you. When we come back, we believe there may be just 11 cars on the lead lap due to the timing of those green flag stops. We'll let you know after this.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Yeah.
Thompson had a great pit stop.
Yes, he did. I think he's here to do the job.
Well, the timing of that caution just
Who
couldn't
are the
have been
cars
worse.
that are dragging down the back straightaway and don't look like you're going to make it back?
Yeah, we got
55, pan right, just a little pan right, Gary. There you had him. You missed him.
You go back left.
Go back left. Slow cars. One was 55.
There we go, 55.
Mike McNeese. Who's just ahead of him?
69. That's
Thank
Miller.
you. Glenn
Pam,
Miller.
what lap was that pit stop?
You know, they might have run out of gas trying to wait.
Probably ran out of gas.
They probably
45.
You can see he did. He ran out of gas.
We can explain that. We were in the pit window when this happened.
Right.
These cars had to go an extra
He
lap.
chickened out.
Well, that's because they were lapped down.
Did you hear what he said? He chickened out.
Okay.
Yes.
No heart.
Okay.
Ooh. Hey, guys, Barrier is still on pit road.
Uh-oh. That sounds like
Ed Barrier.
Ed Barrier.
90.
We need somebody to explain that because he was
Yeah,
running.
that was a top 5 car.
Yeah.
We got a few stories here. The guys that run out on gas in the back of the straightaway.
Kind of down. Yeah, I'm pretty close. Let me get my crew, too.
Oh, 10. Wonderful.
We're left-handed.
Yep.
We're heading that way, Pam.
You want to just, you going to come to that cold out of break? Okay. Not really. No, yeah, he was going to tell that. Then we were going to talk about the Ernie thing. Did you get footage on the Ernie?
Ernie?
Well, you know. Yeah, him. Okay. Do you want to, after Matt, do you want to do that?
Okay, the 14 car went over the line when it came in the pits. They are holding him on pit road.
Uh-oh.
14 car.
How long? To the end of the...
Okay.
Yeah, I believe
Pam.
so. We're checking on that.
Pam.
There goes the...
Ed Barrier's here in the pits. He's out of the car. We
He's
can talk.
history. He's
Okay,
history.
Steve. It was in this race in 1983 when a young driver with a famous name in a nearby hometown drove to his first ever big super speedway win. Davey Allison won this race in 1983. Out of gas, there's a Mike McNeese being pushed around, and Matt Yoakum was just a couple of years before that when Davey Allison made, I think, his first ARCA start.
Well, Mike, Davey Allison left his mark in many series, including ARCA, 8 career victories, but his first career start came in July of 1980. He borrowed the Matador out of the International Motorsports Hall of Fame just outside of Turn 3, took it off the floor, they loaded it up, took it to Michigan. He started 28th, finished 14th. How do I know that? Because I was even too young for the Peach Fuzz gang. They made me score the car. Not many people know just how much this little car, the Matador, meant to Davey Allison's driving career. It gave him his first speedway start.
Here's Bob Spaeth.
Tell him it runs better with 4.
Oh, He'll come in and find out. Davey Allison's famous Texaco Haviland paint scheme will be reprised here in a commemorative tomorrow. Ernie Irvan will wear that white, gold, and black paint job. You see Ernie here qualifying yesterday for the Die Hard 500. And that paint scheme made famous by Davey Allison will be worn by Ernie Irvan's car tomorrow from the pole, and you'll see it live on CBS.
Yes, it's the 10th anniversary for Texaco, and that's the reason for the paint job. But let me tell you something. Every time I see Allison on anything, I just think, gosh, you know, he would have been in every one of these rundowns with 5 to go or 6 to go. He was a great race car driver. Everybody loved Davey so much.
Signal to Bob Spaeth there that he was over the pit line, so he'll be held. Craig Butts was held for a lap by ARCA officials. And Ed Barrier was in the top 5 when they went to the pits for fuel stops. And fellas, what happened to Ed?
Well, Mike, unfortunately, Ed's done for the day. What put you out? You guys came down pit road, and now it's behind the wall.
Yeah, we come in for pit stop there, and they dropped the jack, and I choked the motor, you know, originally, and then I got it fired back up. And when it took off, it busted the yoke in the rear end, I guess. And I mean, the car was running awful good. It was poor qualifying effort on our part, but it was a good race car for the race. And you know, we got up to 3rd, and I think we could have run with the 66 and the 16 if we could have just got close enough, you know, to get to them. And I almost did at one time, but we just couldn't quite get there. And just want to thank ADT and the Mean Green, and you know, everybody's helped us out on this effort, and Lifestyle's come on to help us this race. And just kind of disappointing because I know we could have had a good run. I'd like to say hello to Mom, Robbie, and Jessica.
All right, but it's a rough weekend for Ed Barrier, Mike. He attempted to qualify for the Winston Cup race, and in second round qualifying this morning, they weren't fast enough.
Thanks, Steve. We're working the tail end of this first caution of the day. 47 laps have been completed here at the world's fastest speedway. It's still Mark Thompson and Tim Steele.
Who arranged that shot?
Yeah, can we find out why Craig Butts was held for a lap?
Yeah,
he missed his pitch.
What happened was he went over the line when he came in.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
You might want to say that's the first time he ever made a pit stop in his career.
That's what I was going to talk about, that a lot of guys are rookies here, but he's a rookie at pitting because he's not used to coming in at such a high rate of speed.
Well, don't say this, but he never made it that far before.
Yes, this is the 14 car, so we can talk about how the pit road speed is 65 miles per hour, but when you're out there running 185 at 65 seems real slow, and he kind of misjudged it a little bit and went over the white line.
Yeah.
Buddy.
Yeah.
I was 12 years old when I scored for Davey at Michigan.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Pit stops completed here. Mark Gibson came into the pits running 3rd, and Greg Field and the stat board came out 6th. Mark Stahl went in 8th and came out 3rd. And now here is Craig Butts, who was held for a lap by the ARCA officials. And Matt, what's the story?
Well, Mike, when you're a rookie and you're used to running along at about 189 miles per hour for about 40 laps, you kind of don't get an idea of just how slow 65 miles per hour feels. So when he came into his pit box, he came in a little hot. The front of his car went over the white line, so they made him come back in and held him for 1 lap. Also, his teammate, Matt Hutter, they made very few adjustments to his car, just a little bit of air pressure adjustments. They think their problem could be aero, so we'll have to keep an eye on the 1 car today.
It was one of the cars that ran out of fuel. Mike McNeese tried to stretch it a little too far and ran out of gas. They're trying to get him restarted. We'll get this race restarted in a lap or 2 and be back with you live on TNN right after this.
Hey, Pam. I've got a good visual here. Mark Thompson's complaining that his right foot is burning, and he did not put on this shield that they usually wear.
Yeah. You have the shield?
Yeah, right here.
You ought to show it.
Okay, I think I will.
That's a good piece. Yay, why don't you? Hey.
You're a good producer, buddy.
You know?
Sounds good. And Pam, if you want to, I can relate to
I'm pretty
Ed
good
Barrier,
at all this. If you
Ed
want to know
Barrier
the
breaking
truth.
a rear end, trying to get out of the pits, and also about who was it for the Craig Butts overrunning his pits, because I kind of had the same problems here once before. I spun out coming out of the pits here.
Can I have...
Is there anything you didn't do? You broke your neck.
I know.
Could I have BST?
Hey, you know, 25 years, you kind of do everything.
My headset kind of got real muffled when I was doing that VO. And
you should talk.
It sounded like it was a reverb or something.
That thing with Steve, will that work in the box after we go back to green? Great. I think it's a neat story.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
He just killed it.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, good.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
The game's free, the lessons cost.
That's part of the problem with having one of the first 5 pits. If it's not running, you don't have far to push it.
Well, now he's...
There he goes.
Uh-huh.
Blah, 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 blah,
blah, blah, blah. Right now he's going...
But now, what happens when he has to pit the next time?
Sounds to me as though he's in high gear also.
Mentally, he's going to be shaken. He's going to dread having to make another pit stop.
Drudgery. Are we going to get a count? Or are we going to listen to that car go... All right.
Race fans, you make the call. New LCI residential long-distance customers receive 30 minutes of free domestic calling and the World Card Plus calling card featuring participating NASCAR drivers. Don't delay. Call now. 1-888-TEAM-LCI.
Getting set for the restart as they come off turn number 4 here. It'll be 50 laps complete when they take the green flag. 9 cars are posted on the lead lap. We'll get an update on that in a minute. Mark Stahl was the big winner on pit stops. You see his Autobill car wash board positioned 3rd.
Lead cars on the outside, as you said, and on the inside there, that's your cars that are a lap or more down. Look at them already 3 wide as they come down to get the green.
Well, the green flag's waving, and the rule is you can only pass on the outside till you get to the start-finish line. So that's where everybody went. They're going to be 3 wide into turn 1. Hold on.
I don't want to be the guy in the middle, I'll tell you that.
See Matt Huddard there in the 1 car. He made it 4 wide down into 1, and now it's back to 2 wide as they start down towards the back straightaway.
Hutter got a good start with the 47. Jimmy Kitchens is going to get a stop and go for jumping on the restart. Tough break. Check with Steve Burns.
Just before the pit stop, Mike, Mark Thompson called in and complained that his right foot was burning. Of course, that's his gas pedal foot. Now, this is what the drivers usually put on their right foot. It's a heat shield. Just open up this Velcro, and it goes on the bottom of the driving shoe. But he didn't put it on, and one of the guys on his crew was just laughing, saying, I'll bet you he wears it next race.
For Jimmy Kitchens, 47. He's going to acknowledge that black flag and have to make a stop next time by, and when he comes out, he'll likely be off the lead lap.
Well, Mike, while we watch this great race, and I can add to that, your foot is dead on the floor all the way around the racetrack, and the heat gets in here to where it absolutely will blister the heel of your foot. And I have run until my right foot got so hot I couldn't stand it, take my left foot, cross over, mash the accelerator wide open with my left foot, get with the right front foot cooled down just enough so I could get back with the, you know, I really like my right foot on it, but the left foot works if you got to use it.
I got to tell you a little story about the heat too also. We here at Talladega, they changed the dates from July to October thinking that they were going to help with the heat. It didn't really help. It's still 90 degrees. The drivers, they're in the car to get this. They can put some thermal cool padding under the seat or under their feet. The fans, they don't get to do that. And last week, I was a fan. I went to the Charlotte race, bought a ticket, sat in the stands for the whole race.
Get out of here.
I'm telling you, we even parked in the regular parking lot. I got to tell you, we have the best fans in the world because I don't know how they put up with it.
The last time this man bought a ticket, George Washington was building his first boat. Are you kidding me?
I actually walked up to the window and paid for my first ticket.
Look at this. Matt Huddard is running very well, and just behind him, Gibson there. They got a good draft going. If they'll stay hooked up now, single file, they can run the leader down, I think.
Now we're going to watch for 47, Jimmy Kitchens. He's made his stop and go. He's the last car in the lead lap, and he's just pulling out down in turn number 1. But this pack will likely catch him before he gets back up to speed, to full speed, and put him a lap down. We'll see. Now here's Kitchens exiting 2. There's the lead pack down in turn 1. Kitchens, that white 47 car. There he goes by, and here comes the pack. Let's see if they overhaul him before he gets up to full speed. Now he has no drafting partner. And it's getting busy back here at third place.
Yeah, number 85 car, Bobby Gerhardt. He's running in third right now.
Yep.
He good run. He didn't pit on the first yellow. Didn't get caught in the pits like some of the other guys did, and it's showing now he's able to run up front.
Gerhardt looking for his career best finish. He had a 4th at Michigan earlier this year. Now here's Kitchens across the line. He's up to speed. He's going to be about 7 or 8 seconds ahead of the leaders. He might be okay.
Boy, I tell you what, this makes me a little homesick here. This racetrack, I love it. You can see going down in the corner the 52 car coming up there. Now, if that was smart moving there, you could see Kimmel readjust there and back out of it as they start down in the 1. That helps so much. That could have been a wreck.
Yeah, you know, they try to tell the rookies that you don't really lift here at Talladega. If Frank Kimmel wouldn't have lifted right then and there would have been a wreck. You do have to lift when you get running in traffic.
Well, he's no rookie, and he is point racing. He's the 2nd place point man. 2 races to go after today. This race is for 3rd place. Now you're riding with 43 Kevin Ray, who is off the lead lap. He made his pit stop earlier.
And you're looking up at Kenny Martin there in the 50 car. I tell you what, you could see a lot of things there. The back of the 50 car coming out of the corner just a second ago. Martin's car just jumped sideways just momentarily. What you do there, you just kind of guide into the slide just a little bit. You never jerk that wheel because it only adds to the problem you have.
You sure hope that it doesn't continue lap after lap.
Now there's 9 cars on the lead lap. There are your leaders. Slow car moving to the side. And they are rapidly running down Jimmy Kitchens, who has no drafting partner.
Well, you can see right now Matt Huddard is pulling this group just behind there, the 1 car there. He's really pulling this group forward. He's got a good group of guys behind him there. They're kind of sticking with him. They're moving up out of the draft in the middle part of the corner. I wouldn't like that. I'd be saying, come on, stick with me. We're catching the leaders. You see the 2 lead cars just in front of the 1 here. Boy, oh boy, they are really getting with it now. Matt Huddard's almost breaking the draft now. He's picked up on the draft of the front 2 cars and moving away from everybody else behind him there.
And they're going to put Jimmy Kitchens a lap down. That's Kitchens on the bottom, just in front of our 2 leaders, and he had no drafting help after that stop and go penalty. And you'll see he's as fast as the leaders, but it's going to cost him a lap here.
Yeah, now I need to tuck in right behind Tim Steele like he did, and he'll be able to run with him.
He's the 9th place car, and he's now the 1st car 1 lap down. 61 laps to go at the fastest speedway on earth. Mark Thompson continues to lead Tim Steele and Matt Huddard. We'll be right back.
Well, Matt Huddard, you need to get somebody to help you. He lost the draft.
Yeah. That's because he got stuck behind Kitchens.
Yeah. See, Kitchens pulled over down the back straightaway behind them, and it really just... Mark Thompson, Midway Island.
Yeah, you know, we need to say something that we're seeing something that we're not used to seeing in an ARCA race.
Yeah.
Is Mark Thompson leading more laps than Tim Steele.
Oh, yeah.
The Midway Island where the fish glow at night.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It's a wildlife reserve.
Oh, yeah.
Yeehaw.
Bill Baird, Mark Stahl.
50 and 32 and 52 are lead lap cars.
And there comes Pam Miller off turn 4. She slingshots.
And takes the lead, coming down to the stripe in a 9-wide finish. It's too close to call. Buddy Baker.
What they put in your coffee this morning?
It was Mountain Dew and Sweet Tarts.
Yeah.
Mountain Dew and Sweet Tarts.
Did you hear Gary Clem? He don't care. He wants it.
Yeah, right.
Is that what you said?
Oh, that's funny.
Halfway. Wow. I don't think
it
so.
doesn't look like it's settled down there.
Bakersfield.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, well, look at that second pack right now.
Ooh, contact.
Close call coming through the tri-oval. Mark Gibson and this whole pack nearly wrecked.
That was a wreck. They just didn't finish it up. It started. Mark Gibson at one time there was turning back to the right to the point he was looking out of the right door window there. What a close call. Everybody in the booth here, we were looking over the teleprompters trying to see what else was coming. Oh,
there it is
wow.
again, Joel White.
That is not a replay, folks. That's live. The 49, Joel White, almost took Gibson out. Hang on. Trouble turn 4. A lot of smoke up there. And caution is out. There's why. 52, Bill Baird. Fourth place starter. Not going to be a finisher.
you see him recranking it there, the smoke coming out of the exhaust pipe. He's spinning the wheels in that grass down there trying to get going again.
Well, let's show you what happened just as we were coming back from break. The one we thought was going to be the caution. Look up the top of your screen.
Wow. That's the same two cars, I think, that had the problem later on.
Yeah, the car on the outside, the white car on the outside, that's Mark Gibson.
Number 59, he's the third car over towards the right.
And it ended up with Bill Baird down here spun in the grass off turn 4.
Mike, tell him to straighten his wheels.
Yeah.
it would back a lot better.
There's Gibson. You can see the dent in the left side of that car where he got run into. Now here's what you saw from what Kevin Ray saw of it. Whoa.
It was Kenny Martin in the 50 there that got into the 59 there. And I tell you what, Mark Gibson better thank his lucky stars that he has good car control, because either one of those wrecks could have been something that would put him out.
He had 2 wrecks in 1 lap and didn't crash. He did a good job of keeping. Look at the back bumper. You can see the back bumper's all smashed.
Folks, those slick tires don't have any traction on grass, and it looks like only one of them is turning. So we're under caution for the second time today. We'll be right back to Talladega after this.
Any idea how many
I qualified with the Open, but I ran the ratchet.
Huh.
Can I get a count of how many laps to go?
Yeah.
58. Okay. 56. Okay.
Thank you.
Is this going to be a long caution?
I don't think so.
No.
Because Bill Baird's already on pit road.
7 cars on the lead lap.
7 cars?
We'll probably get 1 to go this time by, Matt.
Okay.
Frank Kamel. Yeah. Oh, adios.
Right across them.
Throw that again. Have we got time to see it again before we come back? I think Frank Kamel might have helped him go.
I don't know. How could he?
Okay, just check.
The guy's not anywhere up near him.
No, wait a minute.
Wait a minute, right here.
He hit him.
Yeah.
He hit him.
He come by him on the in the 4th lane up there. That's what happened.
Frank might have just bumped him on the side, and that's what got him turning. I don't know. I'm not going to say that.
But he wasn't even up close enough
Mike,
to see him.
he had to get there to get turned.
Yeah, you're right. This is true.
If he had been coming back this way, you could have said that. But he come by him on the right-hand side.
Thank you, Judge Baker.
Maybe. We'll look at it again.
We don't have another shot of it, so we. Okay, that's fine.
Good. Well, then I can be an expert.
Oh, gee. Okay.
Then again, they might have got bumped from the rear when Kimmel backed off.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be more likely.
You can say that.
Yeah.
We don't know.
I like that one. Tomorrow from Bakersfield, California, it's NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series action. The Dodge Truck Stop 300 live at 4:30 Eastern Time on TNN. Now there's Bill Baird after making a pit stop after that crash up in turn 4. Now you're riding with Kimmel, Frank Kimmel in 46.
Okay, you see him going down in the corner. You hear him back off a little bit. 52 comes on the 4th lane out there. You can't really say that Kimmel touched him and turned him around. Somebody might have made contact on the 52 car as they started in the corner, and Bill Baird just lost control and come across in front of Kimmel because you could hear him back out of the front real quick.
Frank had lifted going into the corner, so that means traffic was actually starting to stack up. And maybe Bill Baird did too, and the guy behind him didn't. We don't know. We didn't get to see the whole thing.
Kimmel's now 2 laps down after the spin on the pit stop. That lens was just a little wider. We might have seen if Kimmel lifted off because of Baird or in spite of him.
You know, Matt Huddard has done such a great job. You can see him in 3rd spot there. He's doing the job. I think he's doing a tremendous job with the amount of time he's had on major speedways.
And this will be good experience for Hutter because next year he replaces Todd Bodine in the number 36 Busch Grand National car for Team 34. Frank Cece and Scott Todd Welliver and John Gittler. He'll be the team driver to Mike McLaughlin. Let's check on pit road with Matt.
Well, Mike, a little bit of discussion down here between Johnny Allen and his driver, Matt Hutter. Johnny had a problem with his radio. They were trying to decide whether to come in for a quick stop and go for fuel, so that way they might be just close enough to go to the finish, but he had trouble with his radio, so he didn't have enough time to debate it. Also, if Hutter was going to come in, Mark Stahl was going to come with him, so Buddy Hobbs was also trying to talk Johnny into bringing the 1 car in so they could also come in for fuel.
1 more lap under caution. We'll go back to racing as the hood goes up on Bill Baird's machine behind pit wall. We'll be right back.
We're going green this lap.
I'm telling you.
Yada, yada, yada.
We must make 15 gazillions.
Gazillions what?
Oh, look at this.
Oh,
I'd say, oh no, that's the other guy.
That's
somebody else. Randall Ritter.
That's Randall Ritter.
2nd and a goal.
What is that?
So,
is it a bar in Nashville? Russ Thompson?
It's a bar.
What's
you would know. You would know.
No, I wouldn't know. I looked at it. Well, if you look at it.
Is that a bar in Nashville? You live there. You must know.
No.
Venturini
does, though.
I think it said 2nd and goal restaurant or grill or something.
Okay.
It's a sports bar, for God's sakes, I guess. Wouldn't you think?
Better be.
Wouldn't you think?
Update the 14 car.
Uh-huh.
Okay. 63 laps complete. 3 of the 7 cars on the lead lap pitted under this caution. Rather, the last 2 did. Mark Gibson and Bobby Gerhart. Let's go to Steve Burns for an update on Tim Steele.
Yeah, guys, remember on that last pit stop, Tim Steele, they made some pretty big adjustments. They added air pressure all the way around to all 4 corners and made a track bar adjustment. Now, the thing to remember at home, whenever you make a chassis adjustment, you're compromising 1 corner of the car or the opposite corner. So the update is, Tim Steele says the car feels pretty tight. So they're going to, next stop, they're going to take 3 or 4 rounds out of the left rear, but otherwise he thinks that's good. We're going racing.
Holding the field down as they come through the trial hole now. Green flag in the wind, and everybody jumps to the outside.
Passing only is legal on the outside. You can see they made it 3 wide long before they got to the start-finish line.
And they're still 3 wide going off into the corner. Looking back from Tim Steele. 7 cars on the lead lap. Thompson, Steele, Hutter, Stahl, number 90, or 50 rather, Kenny Martin.
Good run for Kenny Martin. His crew chief is Bob Shack. Has been at ARCA for many years.
Gibson and Gerhart, those are the lead lap cars. Most of the cars that fell down a lap did so because they made green flag pit stops just before the first caution of the day at lap 43.
You can see that 43 car, Kevin Ray's been able to run right alongside of Matt Hutter, which is probably actually slowing down the outside lane right now.
That's a team car just behind Matt Hutter there. That's Craig Buck, worked his way back to the front of the group, trying to get back in the lead lap. If he can hang on to Hutter and help him a little bit, they might can run the lead car down.
28 there, C.W. Smith, holding the middle. 33-degree banking. That's probably steeper than the roof on your house. It's almost impossible to walk up it in street shoes. Slicing down to the bottom of the racetrack. There's that white car of Butts.
You know, when I was racing, it never felt quite so wild. But you watch these cars at 200 miles an hour jump a lane at a time, and the car beside him jump at the same time. What great reflexes these guys have not to get all balled up on the straightaway. But look at your two lead cars. That's Thompson leading Tim Steele right through the dog leg, and these guys back here are still running 2 by 2 as they come down front straightaway.
You know, we're seeing something today that hasn't happened much this year. Mark Thompson has been leading Tim Steele almost the whole race. You know, beginning to... Thompson's been in the lead. Tim has been able to just run second. I don't know if he wants to or if that's all he can do, but this is something that we're not used to seeing. I'm glad to see Mark Thompson having such a good run.
Thompson has 6 previous Talladega starts, 4 top 10 finishes. He finished second here 1 year ago. Never won on this track.
Well, he hasn't won until this year, and all of a sudden he's had 2 Speedway wins this year. Glad to see it. He's been a real hard competitor in the ARCA series.
This is quite a mix of lead lap and 1 lap down cars in this pack.
Boy, that's a great speed shot. You can really feel how fast these cars are getting around. From a long camera angle, it looks like these cars are almost stopped. But when you get down there with that close-up shot, you could really see that these cars are running close to a football field a second down the front straightaway here.
Big gap from first and second. That freight train out front isn't going to make any money. It's just an engine and a caboose. There's no revenue in between. But they're going to take home a lot of money if they can stay away from this pack.
It's a little deceiving that there's actually a lot of fast cars in this group. It's just that one yellow where that happened where some guys got caught in the pits and the other guys didn't. They're all actually the whole group is about equal on being on the speed.
Here comes Jimmy Kitchens. Whoosh! Is there a problem on that 43 car with Kevin Ray?
Oh, it sure does look like he's dropped down.
He's going to pit. 19-year-old driver from East Tavoga. His dad, Johnny Ray, an occasional Winston Cup competitor in the late 60s, early 70s.
Sponsored by the Richard Petty Driving School.
Now, if he was really doing the 1-800-B Petty thing, he'd turn into victory lane, wouldn't he?
Yeah, you can see him push it up into neutral there, using his feet, 1 foot on the brake, 1 on the clutch, because with this high gear here, you don't want to come in too hard and slam on the brakes and get in a lot of trouble.
Looks like they might have something wrong in the right front. They're not hurrying to put the tire back on.
Watching the leaders as you see Kevin Ray's pit stop in the upper right. And that gap continues to grow. It's now 3.1 seconds back to the 3rd place car. The one of Matt Hutter. Steve Burns, what's the problem on Kevin Ray?
Well, when you see the hood goes up, that's always a bad sign. Kevin Ray has taken off his helmet. They're looking underneath the hood, but there is definitely no juice in this car. The hood's down. They just gave it the cut signal. They are, in fact, done for the day.
He was in 9th place, 1 lap down. Here's your lead duo drafting along. Mark Thompson, Tim Steele. As they've been for much of this race, trying to decide it between them. They're also the 2-point leaders.
Well, these guys right here are kind of in overdrive. They're just kind of riding along. But back in this group back here coming in the vision now, these guys are racing like crazy back in here, trying to close in on the leader. But they need to get close to Matt Hutter, stay in line, and try to catch the duo there. But it's going to be tough to do.
Yeah, I don't think even if 6 of these guys get hooked up, that they'll be able to catch those 2 Fords up front.
First it looks like they're going to work together, and then you're sure they're not, and then they line back up again.
Oh,
close. That's Mark Stahl down to the bottom, 32. That teal-colored car with a white nose. Now they're pretty well in line, back straightaway. That's Hutter in red. The white car a lap down is Craig Butts.
Third car is number 28, that's C.W. Smith.
He's a couple laps down, unofficially. Then Mark Stahl in 32, and the 50 of Kenny Martin.
Well, that 32 car of Mark Stahl and the 50 car of Kenny Martin are actually running 4th and 5th right now.
They're lead lap cars, as are Mark Gibson in 59 and Bobby Gerhardt's 85. Everyone else is a lap down.
I see a lot of smoke. There's trouble there in turn 2.
Kenny Martin.
And everybody checks up behind him, and another car bounces off the wall. That's Randall Ritter, the Nashville driver.
Yeah, it looked like something happened to Kenny Martin's car because we started to see smoke come out of it, and he came down and just clipped the back of Randall Ritter's, which then turned him up into the wall.
Caution out. And there's number 50, Kenny Martin, who was on the lead lap in that Mr. Gaskin Ford. He was the 5th place car. He's really torn up the left front. And a tough break for Ritter, carrying the only General Motors SB2 engine in this field, the new generation of small block Chevy. His wife, Delta flight attendant, races up at Nashville Speedway. She was up there for the Mark Colley race Wednesday night and then had to rush down here for 8 o'clock Thursday morning. It's been a busy week for the Ritters. There is Ritter's car.
Oh, that car is really badly damaged in the front end.
Rescue workers trying to get the hood off so they can hook it up to the wrecker. Let's show you what happened here.
You can see on the left that number 50 car is already smoking. It looks like he's either blown a tire because the car actually got sideways. And he just comes down and he's going to clip the 31 car right in the right rear corner. You see the part of the back bumper come flying off. And by this time, it's actually turned Randall Ritter back up right, where you'll see he'll shoot back up across the racetrack and probably hit the outside wall.
That's where Ritter goes. Crunch.
Right there.
So Martin and Ritter get taken out in this turn 2 crash at lap 73.
And what a helpless feeling Randall Ritter's got. He's coming through the corner, nowhere he can go. He gets clipped, doesn't even see it because he didn't even know he was going to get hit. And then he's spinning backwards.
Matt Yoakum?
Well, Mike, you talked about Kim Ritter racing late models at Nashville Speedway. She obviously probably is not a happy camper right now because while she's racing late models, the car that was on the racetrack today for Randall is her show car. They use this car as their show car, so pretty interesting story about how an ARCA car is her show car for the late model series husband and wife racing team. Steve Burns?
Matt, Kevin Ray out today, had a great run going, broken right shock mount. Broken right shock mount. Kevin, tough day. You're from nearby East Aboga. Had a great run going.
Yeah, we really did. The Richard Petty driving experience. We had a great car. We've been struggling with the motor all weekend, but I feel sorry for the guys. We've really worked hard on this car, trying to get it ready, and we thought we had a good car. But I'd just like to thank all the guys. They've helped me out tremendously, and without them, this car wouldn't be sitting here today.
All right, tough break. Let's go to Mike Joy.
Leaders pit stops, no chassis changes being made, it appears. No.
Yeah, and look, Mark Thompson didn't get tires. He just went gas and gold.
Matt Hutter's also in. Matt Yoakum's there.
It will be a 2-tire pit stop for Matt Hutter for track position while Mark Stahl is not taking on any tires. He's happy with the way his car is handling, but they took extra time to make sure they got all the fuel in, so they will have no problem going the distance.
Bobby Gerhardt beat Hutter out of the pits.
We have a different ball game right now. What happened? Tim Steele come out in 3rd. That put Matt Hutter in 2nd. So now Hutter has somebody to run the lead car down.
So your running order after pit stops is going to be Thompson, Gerhardt, Hutter, and Steele. We'll be right back.
Yeah. We might have a race here.
Gosh, I hope so.
A race. Here you have it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, go low and get it right in the quarter.
Go high, go low.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Steve.
Boy, it's a shame they cut to the back shot because he come down right.
Yeah, right.
But That's okay. Take your best shot. Whose car is that? Thank you. Okay.
The one that was in-car camera? Yeah, that was Glenn Morgan.
Yep.
16 was doing an adjustment to the left rear.
They probably pulled a spring out or a spring rubber. No.
They didn't put a bar in it at 16.
Okay.
That's the first time.
So that they're trying to say they put 3 rounds in it, and I didn't see him see a ratchet.
I tell you what, that's the first time I've seen a shock pull out like that.
It ripped
in a long time.
Ripped the whole roll bar.
Tube right out.
That looked like the tube might have been just a little bit on the thin side.
Hey,
sorry, buddy.
Tim,
It was right at the bend. Well, here's what I'm wondering. Was it, all right, was the tube thin, or when they bent it, did it thin out?
Yeah, it was a thin tube.
Okay.
Get that front end.
But I don't think we need even.
Sorry about that.
Don't go there, Bill.
I was talking to Nelson, and I didn't hear the throw. I was talking to Nelson about that, so sorry about that. Oh, that's okay. I'll rough him up.
Give him a good one for us too.
Okay.
Okay.
And now here's the big push off pit road for Craig Butts. No first gear.
Nope. But back underway.
He rejoins the racing action.
And then all of a sudden, it's the clutch slip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we established it. Well, after pit stops, the order is really shaken up here at Talladega. Mark Thompson came out of the pits first. They're now posting Matt Hutter, having beaten Bobby Gerhart to the end of pit road. Then it's Tim Steele and Mark Stahl. Let's ride along with Glenn Morgan down through turns 1 and 2. And you'll first see the 50 car. There's the smoke down on the track apron. See 31 coming across. There. Morgan gets by safely as Ritter is down in the infield grass. He's now on the rollback. Second and goal. I'd say that the goal line stand got stopped short of the goal line.
Wow.
Ouch.
Well, as you can see, when they came out of having their pit stops, Mark Thompson's leading, but Mark Thompson didn't change any tires. He came in, just got gas and go. I think Hutter and Tim Steele both made at least 2 tire change, but I guess I'm not sure what the Steele crew was doing, because the car was in pits pretty long. I don't know if they were making a chassis change or maybe pulling a spring rubber out or whatever they were doing, but they were doing some type of a chassis change.
There you can see what happened to the front 5 after these pit stops. Matt Yoakum, Matt Hutter picked up a spot, went from 3rd to 2nd on that exchange.
Mike, Johnny Allen made a great call on pit road. They were going to take on 4 tires. He looked up and saw that the 66 car Thompson was the only car that was going to pass them on pit road. He called for 2 tires, opting for track position because he knows his driver's a rookie. There are not a lot of guys that are going to draft with him because they're a Chevrolet, and a lot of teams in the ARCA Series are Fords. They did not want to take a chance. They opted for track position, took on 2 tires.
Well, I'm going to tell you, if you're not going to take on tires, Talladega's the place not to, because the racetrack has good grip. It's extremely high banked, as you can see there. I think Mark Thompson wanted the track position. That's what he was thinking. I want to be in the lead when we come out of this pit stop. I don't want to have to contend with these lap cars on the inside also on the restart.
Yeah, like you said, buddy, this is the one racetrack where actually new tires are not a big advantage.
Well, if you got a Sony PlayStation or Sega Saturn, check out TNN Motorsports Hardcore 4x4. Fenders crunching, wheels busting, doors flying off. The game gets so real you have to scrape the mud off your TV. It's TNN Motorsports Hardcore 4x4. Mud not included. You can check it out at country.com. It's a big weekend in racing, and you won't miss a minute when you turn into TNN for up-to-the-minute highlights, interviews, and more tomorrow at noon Eastern Time. Race day here on the leader, TNN Motorsports. Getting set to go racing. 75 laps complete.
Well, what do we got? We got 7 cars on the lead lap right now. There's a lot of fast cars down on the inside. again, you're going to see some side-by-side racing when they go green flag, even though they're on the inside lane, which is a lap down cars. They're quick because of the one unscheduled yellow flag that caught everyone in the pit. So we'll see what happens when they go green.
Buddy, how important is it going to be for Tim Steele to quickly get to Mark Thompson?
Well, he knows that that's his move. He has to get up there because Mark Thompson right now has Matt Hutter just behind him there. He needs to get by Bobby Gerhardt there in the 85 car, the yellow one you see just on the high side there. He really needs to get a great start.
Harris Devane as the car one lap down on the inside. Trying to get back up with the leaders.
And last year here, Harris Devane actually was running 5th, ran out of gas on the last lap. Or running 2nd, was it? Running 2nd, ran out of gas on the last lap.
He's trying to get back on the lead lap. He's just underneath our race leader. And there's Frank Kimmel, number 2 point man, trying to get back on the lead lap.
You can see Tim Steele taking a look in the middle part of the group as they started off here at 2 by 2. He wouldn't mind making it 3 wide if he has to really move up here. You can see Matt Hutter there just behind our leader Thompson as they head into turn 3.
Yeah, but look at that red car on the outside. There's Tim Steele looking on the outside.
Got past Bobby Gerhardt, the yellow car that's in 4th place. And they're past the lap traffic. You're riding with Tim Steele.
Now you want to see a car with muscle, watch this car, even though they're drafting in front of him, right in line, he's closing in, make it 4 car lengths, down to 3, he's there, right on the back bumper as they head into turn there.
And look behind them, they're 3 abreast. Mark Gibson right in the middle, now breaks out to the high side there, or to the bottom rather, trying to get underneath the 33 of Harris Devane. And that's rush hour.
Oh boy, they're awful close there, but I tell you one thing, all these guys are doing a great job right now. As they go 2 by 2, it does not look that dangerous right now. You can see as they head off in the corner here, your outside car there, he moved out just a little bit. That took the turbulence off the car on the inside, making it a lot safer to get through the corner.
Dan Parnas on the bottom there in 42 as Kimmel tries to work his way back to the lead lap cars. He's drafting off Mark Stahl.
Yeah, the old saying is give and take, gentlemen. And right now, when you're running in this type of a group, you've got to have the courtesy of being able to give the guy next to you some room.
You can hear the sound never changes as Frank Kimmel goes down in the corner. The engine stays the same sound all the way through the corner, never backing off anything.
Back up front, Thompson has close company. The Chevrolet in that Thunderbird sandwich is Matt Hutter, right between Mark Thompson and the 16 of Tim Steele. Steve Burns, what changes did they make on those lead cars during pit stops?
Hey, Mike, pretty interesting strategy. In fact, these teams are pitting back to back and watch each other. Now, the 66 of Mark Thompson, they just put gas in the car, no tires. In Tim Steele's pits, they put on right side tires. It took 3 rounds out of the left rear, making a chassis adjustment.
Well, with these Hoosier tires, Bill, what will that do to the car?
Not changing tires won't mean much at all to Mark Thompson up front, because like we said, this track is really easy on tires. But what's happening right here, right now, Matt Hutter's got to make sure that these 2 Fords don't get hooked up, because if Tim Steele gets around him and gets hooked on Mark Thompson's bumper, they're going to leave him.
Well, I mean, like now. No, not quite.
If I was in Matt Hutter's car running second right now, as you see, just what Bill talked about, here comes Steele on the inside. Now, Matt's going to fight back on the outside. The 2 cars running side by side, that only helps Thompson. Smart driving there. He dropped right back in, and you can see they're back underway. The only problem, he lost a position, and Tim Steele is now in second, and the 2 Fords are hooked up.
And he's got to hope those 2 Fords together don't get away from his Chevrolet. 80 laps complete, 38 to go here at the world's fastest speedway. We'll be right back to Talladega after this. Satellite fans, this was only a test.
A test.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Oh boy, the 3 front to 3.
Mike,
we have our first 3 finishers.
It's the water.
It's the water.
It's gotta be the water.
Yeah, but look at this. Hey, the Fords are not playing games anymore. Matt Hutter's playing with Steele on the outside there.
Go, Matt.
Go with him. Look at Matt Hutter. Go, son. Pull back up there. Close.
On the scoreboard at this time.
Now, if he's smart, he'll really get a run off
32 car. Any idea where they
Matt Hutter.
Yeah, he's
Matt Hutter could take the lead.
Yeah, if he's willing to go. Ooh, look at this.
Yeah, Mark Stahl's a lead lap car. He's fifth.
I would have been.
Hey,
I would have went to the outside.
If you want to get a chance, I've got a story on those guys where they are helping out a children's home in Savannah. Every time they complete a lap, they are donating money.
It's like this, buddy.
I'd give up all this money I got today to be in that one right now. Boy, that car is strong. Here we go. Mark Thompson. I tell you, Mark.
You know, nobody can relate to that feeling that they have right now, buddy.
Oh, look at this. They made contact almost getting into turn one. I tell you what.
You need to be seeing this, Pam. I know. We need to.
Hey, you can't say that to her. She'll say I'm doing the best I can. Uh-oh. Here we go. Split them up. Split. Matt Hutter.
Well, buddy, Matt Hutter in that number one's been going to graduate school here.
He has that. You look at Thompson there, he had the lead, but we have a new leader, Tim Steele, in the 16 going down through there, took the lead. And these two guys are going at it, and as long as they run side by side, Tim Steele will pull away.
Steele's strength has been from turn 4 back to turn 1. In the 2 short shoots in the tri-oval, buddy, he's been at least a car length faster than the 2 men he's been racing with.
Absolutely. You can see these guys right now. You say, wow, are they losing ground to the leader running side by side? What they're doing, they don't have any draft whatsoever built up when they're running side by side. And you look back from your lead car here, you can see him right now. He's pulled out about a 10-car length lead because they won't give up that second spot. If I was spotting, I'd say either pass him or drop back and run with him and try to catch that lead car. You don't want him to get too far out there.
Now they need to get in line within one more lap, or else Tim is going to actually pull away. But one more, if they can get in line, they'll end up closing up on Tim Steele in about 3 or 4 laps. It doesn't look like either one wants to give up that second spot.
Well, you can see Hutter had a little better pull through the tri-oval, and now Thompson has the low line in the corner.
Look at the lead, though. It's grown to about 20 car lengths now. Somebody has to go. You see, finally, Matt Hutter backs up just a little bit. Now they're back in line, and they'll run the leader right back down.
Let's check with Matt.
Johnny Allen told his driver, Matt Hutter, in the 1 car, look, we are losing a lot of time to the leader. Jump back in behind the 66, draft up to the front, and we'll get our car back into the fight. But right now, we're losing too much time, so that's why Matt Hutter pulls in behind the 66 car.
Let's show you the lead change. It happened during commercial. Mark Thompson was the leader, and Steele has Hutter going with him.
Yep, you can see now Matt Hutter chooses to go with Steele on the outside. They make almost contact getting into turn 1 there, but you can see right there the momentum going into the corner as Mark Thompson is really fighting very hard to try to keep the lead as they head towards the back straightaway. Watch the 2 cars, the momentum of the 2 cars drafting, pulling away from the 66 of Thompson down the back straightaway.
And that happened while we were in commercial, and it gave Tim Steele the lead. Now this pack has been bumping and banging all over the place trying to gain advantage. 4 of these are lead lap cars, and everybody else is a lap down. 32, Mark Stahl is on the lead lap, so is 85 there, Bobby Gerhardt, and the 59 of Mark Gibson. Everyone else is a lap down.
Boy, that works well on a quarter-mile racetrack. When you go to Talladega, I don't like people bumping and banging around on you. And if you ever touch the outside wall here, it may not seem like any damage right at the moment, but usually you have so little clearance between the fender and the tire. Once you hit the wall, you might get tire rub, so it's very dangerous to do all the bamming and sliding around on the racetrack that they're doing. Easy enough for me to say, huh?
Well, it looks pretty exciting from up here. I'm with you. Well, now here is Tim Steele while we watch that pack. Mark Thompson and Matt Hutter drafted right back up to him once they got single file.
Exactly what we talked about. That's the one thing you have to do, and experienced drivers understand that. You'll never see, say, a Dale Earnhardt and Mark Martin go several laps side by side. They might do it to see who has the best car, and all of a sudden you'll see them drop back and get in line, really to catch or pull away from anyone. Mark Thompson looking to the bottom as they head into turn 1.
And Matt Hutter up to the high side, working that same lane as Tim Steele.
Oh my, here we go.
You hear Thompson's spotter calling that the car is outside alongside him. Bob Spade down the apron. And there's Thompson. Gets himself pedaled back to third spot. Looks like if one of these Fords is going to win the race, it looks like Matt Hutter's in a good position to decide which one.
Yeah, I think Matt can almost decide who's going to win the race. It depends who he ends up drafting with. But if you notice, the two Fords are taking two distinctly different lines through the corners. Mark Thompson is staying down in the bottom lane, and the 16 car of Tim Steele is actually moving up a lane.
Let's go to Tim Steele's pit, and here's Steve.
Hey, Mike, great story down here. This car that Tim Steele is driving has never been raced before. They named it Bear after Paul Bear Bryant, the legendary coach of University of Alabama football. The plaque says, if you believe in yourself and have dedication and pride and never quit, you'll be a winner. The price of victory is high, but so are the rewards. Now, where did they get this plaque? They bought it at the Sheraton where they're staying in Birmingham, Alabama.
Matt Hutter never played for Bear Bryant, so he may have a lot to say about.
I was thinking the same thing, but I'll tell you, what a great guy, what a great football coach.
Yes.
But this is racing here, and you can see right now Matt Hutter running second there, Mark Thompson running third in the 66. As you said, I really believe that Matt Hutter may determine who wins this race, but I wouldn't count him out either.
Nope.
Matt Hutter maybe never went to played with Bear Bryant, but he sure is going to school today.
You bet. 89 laps complete. Here's Hutter looking for the lead. Oh, he might have got into Steele just there. That was close.
Tim's kind of letting him know he's not happy with that move, too.
And look, here comes Thompson.
That's called bump drafting. I've done it a million times here. You'll go up and actually touch the car in front of you. It picks it up about 200 RPMs when you touch the car in front of you. So very important. You see what a great push there going down the back straightaway that Steele got.
And you saw Thompson make a decision. I'm going with the guy with the experience. After that happened, after Hutter slid to Steele, Mark Thompson said, I'm going to get up with Steele. We're going to try to go. And again, try to settle this among ourselves. And back here, it's still rush hour.
Meanwhile, it's a right hook, then a left.
Yeah. And
these guys are going at it, boy.
Now, Mark Gibson's racing for this championship. Oh. He can't get away from this pack of cars.
Boy, there's smoke flying in that pack right there. They're making contact. You can see Butts there, and the 14 on the outside got touched really good coming off the dog leg there.
Mark Gibson just cannot pull away and break free of this pack. He's leading this pack, but he can't clear it. And he and Bobby Gerhart and Mark Stahl are racing for third, fourth, and fifth position.
These guys, they are so tense right now, and they've been running in this group all day long. They haven't had to break like Tim Steele and Mark Thompson have had, being out there running by themselves. When you're running with this big of a group of cars, you're totally tense the whole time.
Back up front, where Thompson is right on Tim Steele's bumper, and you can see they have distanced themselves from Matt Hutter.
Yeah, I think the one little contact there, they said we need to distance ourselves away here. The Fords are working now. Matt Hutter's dropping off.
Caution on the racetrack. Debris in turn 4 is the reason that we are under caution for the 4th time today. Glenn Morgan coming along around the track apron back to pit road. And we're back under yellow to be a whole new race again with 26 laps to go. We'll be back and see how the 6 cars in the lead laps sort it out here at Talladega, Alabama, right after this.
Hey, Matt.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to tell you right now, they wanted to get away from Matt Hutter.
Oh, that's all it was.
They had actually broken away, but I tell you what, he come within an inch of putting Steele right out of here.
Well, I tell you what, I was talking to Johnny. He said that if they could get the 14 car up there to help them,
no way.
They think they've got something because the 14 car was hanging in there.
What day is Halloween?
Yeah. Not soon enough.
Well, remember that Ron Bouchard win here?
Yeah, when those two Fords realized that Matt Hutter was going to try and play in their party, they decided it was time to leave them.
Hey, see, now, you know, these one guys, the one guys down here now, they're for Florida State. This Alabama stuff now, Bear Bryant, we got Bobby Bowden fans down here.
Yeah, they just didn't see what
they didn't see what we saw.
They were happy to let Hutter play as long as he was playing their game.
Yeah.
But he about committed an error.
Oh, nice
Buddy,
bumper cam, yeah.
So how much did drafting help did you give him?
I beg your pardon?
How much drafting help did you give him?
Oh, none. None. We were at Rockingham when he went to school.
Oh.
Yeah.
He didn't get a chance to read the Buddy Baker chapter on drafting, huh?
No.
Oh, boy.
Hey, the game's free. Lessons cost.
That's like going to the Jiffy store to try to find some sweet tarts and find out
I
they're
tell
out.
you, he's done a good job, though.
Yeah.
Shows potential.
He'll do real well next year in the 36 car.
He can't use that side, though, as a buffer.
No.
He's doing that. He's hit 2 or 3 cars already. You know?
Yes.
Yes. Ooh, lightning, scary. John Force makes a return appearance here. Oof. It's actually the flames that they're afraid of.
Now, there's one crazy character.
Tell me, I put him
John
through
Force.
driving school one time. He set our school back 2 months.
You're not kidding.
Who?
Force.
I just finally said, get in the car, you need a ride. And I took him down the corner and smoked the tires, and he didn't he?
Yeah.
Why'd y'all put 17 up there just a second ago?
Yes,
What is this? There isn't any. We're 93 laps. Tomorrow it's put 188.
117 here, right?
Coming up later today on Hot Rod TV, they'll show you how to fix up the interior of your muscle car and profile the intake king, Vic Edelbrock Jr. That's 4 o'clock Eastern time here on TNN Motorsports. And tomorrow, Winston Cup action at the fastest speedway on earth. The Die Hard 500 is live from Talladega, 12:30 Eastern time on CBS Sports. Still under caution for the debris up in turn number 4. Looks like we'll have another lap of yellow and then settle this one off. 24 laps to go at Talladega for the ARCA cars. We'll be right back.
Hello.
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 Hello. Bye.
Hello.
That was the best one yet, though. There was some harmony there.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I'd like to do something on the
just that Mark
46 car.
Thompson's foot is bothering him. He's complaining about how hot he is, period.
Oh, tell the whiner to stop it. We'll give him some cheese with that.
Tell him to come in.
Do you want me to say what his crew told me?
Yeah.
What
He
they
said, but you know how those damn drivers are.
Maybe we should do something on Frank Kimmel because he really hasn't been a factor today, and he's second in points, and they've struggled all weekend long.
We've had Kimmel on.
Okay.
We've watched him.
Where is he now?
Tomorrow morning on TNN, NASCAR Garage checks out the technical side of racing with a behind-the-scenes look at the folks and the cars of NASCAR. 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time is NASCAR Garage here on TNN Motorsports. Now you're riding with Frank Kimmel, the Advanced Auto Parts machine, and with Kimmel laboring in 14th place, Tim Steele could lock up the ARCA championship today, Matt.
Well, Mike, they've struggled all weekend long. They're really not sure where to pinpoint the problem with this car. They're not sure if it's the motor or the body itself. Maybe it's not as aero as some of the other cars here this weekend. They're looking forward to next weekend when we go to a dirt track at Springfield on the mile. They think Frank will be pretty good there, and also at Atlanta. He was dominant there back in the spring. An interesting note about the sponsor on this car. This is the second season for Advanced Auto Parts to be on the car. How they got the sponsor? Well, they just put an ad in a national business journal. I can't tell you which one it is because The owner, Larry Clement, told me, don't give away my secret on how I got the sponsor. But I'll tell you what, it happens to have a name that's very similar to one in New York City. You kind of get the hint.
Well, it pays to advertise.
New York City.
Well, that's where Wall Street is, you know.
Yeah.
And Frank Kimmel.
Well, I thought they were making pecani sauce or something.
All right. Tim Steele, Mark Thompson, Tim Steele have been your leaders today. There's a look at the lead changes as we get set to go back to green. On the lead lap, Tim Steele in 16, Mark Thompson 66. The number 1 of Matt Hutter, the 59, third place point man Mark Gibson, the 85 of Bobby Gerhart, and the 32 of Mark Stahl. Those are your lead lap cars. 1 lap down, Harris Devane, Josh Baltus, Greg Butts, and C.W. Smith. That's the way they're running here at Talladega. They're going to take 1 more lap under caution here. No restart. So we'll be right back after this word.
We ought to be able to go all green without any commercials.
Pam, we have not done the bone marrow thing. Just so you know. Okay.
Also, we are within the 25.
I thought you guys would pick up on that New York City, but everybody's doing
Well, they didn't want us to tell.
Well, yeah, I know.
That was too cute for words, Matt.
We've got this beautiful Gibson guitar. It's an SG that we've had autographed by a lot of drivers. We've got Jeff Gordon, Ricky Craig, Terry Labonte, the Alabama gang, Richard Kyle Petty, Red Farmer, bunch of great drivers on this beautiful.
Who is that, Wolfman Jack?
I don't know. No, he died.
Like I said, getting off of it, because I really like the guitar, but when I auction it off tomorrow.
Okay.
We come back in a minute 22. It'll be close.
Hey, Gary. Yeah, fun, huh?
Dude, buddy. Hey, buddy, I was with you on that one.
Yeah, I knew you were, but, you know, anybody over 30 was kind of dragging.
Great minds think alike, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Anyone over 30 was what?
Dragging up here. I said, New York City or Pearl Home.
Okay. Oh, there's nobody under 30 up here.
Uh-huh.
There's hardly anybody up here
Yes,
under 40.
it is. Yes, it is.
What?
You'd get slapped up here.
You're going to have to do this quick, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just go 1-800-MARROW 2.
Ugh. Ugh.
The Hendrick Motorsports Bone Marrow Program Telethon got kicked off here last evening at the Motorsports Hall of Fame. This Gibson guitar, signed by many drivers, will be auctioned off tonight at the Talladega Walk of Fame, where Buddy Baker and the Jarretts, Dale and Ned, will be inducted into the Walk of Fame. And the telethon is on October 11th and tomorrow during race day, Friday and Saturday the 17th and 18th during TNN Motor Madness. The number, of course, is 1-800-MARROW 2. Green flag with Tim Steele out in front of Mark Thompson. Lap car separating Matt Hutter from the 2 leaders.
And that was the best jump Tim Steele's got all day on the restart. He really pulled everyone by about 2 or 3 car lengths.
You know, you watch Tim Steele, and he gets more aggressive as the race goes along, and restarts are so important. Dale Earnhardt's used it to his advantage in Winston Cup many, many times. You see back in here, they're racing 2 by 2. The front group up there, the first 2 cars, they're single file and moving on.
And trying to check out. Mark Thompson not putting a move on Tim Steele because they want to get away from this path.
Well, you can see the 3rd place car, number 1, Matt Hutter, is caught in between those lap cars right now, and the first 2 leaders are bringing him to pull away.
That's Harris Devane leading that 2nd pack as they come through the trial. Matt Hutter unable to get through there or get away from that group.
There goes Hutter on the bottom trying to get by Devane as they head down into turn one. I'm sure Devane will let him have the racetrack. You can see kind of but look at Mark Gibson there in the 59. He's also moving up.
Now that is for position. It's for third place. Bobby Gerhardt and Mark Stahl also on the lead lap.
Yeah, they're stuck in that group themselves right now.
And 3 wides, 4 wides, Stahl on the bottom, Gerhardt on the right. And who's going to pay the price? 3 cars, 4 cars involved. And 2 more go spinning down to the bottom of the racetrack and into the grass. Without any further damage. Oh, no. A race action that took a fraction of a second to start. A long, long time to end. This car came flying into the tail end of that incident, still at full throttle. And is that Baird? Excuse me, that's Drew White,
Drew
98.
White, 98.
Drew White's car. The whole right front cleaned off that car.
Tremendous damage to the right front corner there. A lot of impact there, and that was just because you can't stop at 200 miles an hour. It's chain reaction. Once things start happening, they happen in a hurry here.
There's 69, Glenn Miller, the black car down on the apron. 95 pulling away, Kevin Counselor. And Mark Stahl, the top of the screen, that's one of the lead lap cars is Stahl. And the car in front here is 47, Jimmy Kitchens.
Yeah, and you can see how that car is actually traveling sideways. It's dog tracking.
The rear end is really bent.
The rear end housing is turned completely right on that car there, and he's actually steering to the right there to hold it straight.
Hold it straight, yep. You can get away with running maybe 3 wide here, but you can't get into the corner trying to go 4 wide.
Dale Kreider, the IMSA veteran, back end all torn up on his Monte Carlo. And that's Drew White. And White probably had the hardest hit of anyone, as you can see by all the sheet metal ripped off and the frame radiator bent back. Now, Mark Stahl has made it to pit road. They're checking the steering, trying to make sure everything's free there, Matt.
Well, they're looking over the right front. Well, this is a disappointing day for these guys. They thought they had a pretty good shot at victory. They ran 5th at Daytona. They changed the nose. They updated it to a 97. They thought it would be more sleek for the aerodynamic track like Talladega. And boy, they are really disappointed. They thought they had a great shot today. They're not really sure if there's any damage underneath the fender. Right now, the tire looks like it was down on the inner liner. But, boy, disappointing day for these guys.
Well, now it looks like Mark Stahl may still be on the lead lap. He is. So he is still looking at a possible top 5 finish, which would be the 3rd of his career in ARCA.
He just beat the pace car out of the pits. As he was coming out of the pits, the pace car was just coming by. He was able to keep the car on the lead lap. And he's still got a good shot for a top 5.
Kevin Counselor, the Sherwin-Williams Ford. Let's show you first what Frank Kimmel saw in the middle of this pack.
Boy, oh boy, you talk about dodging the bullet. He dodged 3 bullets.
Of them. You got it. You can see there. The 4th car down on the inside is Mark Stahl.
Okay, there's contact right there. Kitchens gets turned. The 32 car there, that is Mark Stahl gets collected, and from back in the pack there, everybody's just making contact, as you see there. Hard
17,
contact.
the black car, Mike Cacchetti.
Yeah.
And here comes Drew White, long time after. Now, it looks like 47 might come down on Gibson, who can't go any lower.
Right, no, Mark was caught in between 2 cars. He couldn't go any lower, so it almost looked like he got clipped on the nose.
Greg Butch got through without incident. Boy, Gibson did a good job of hanging on. So did Dan Pardis. Now we'll show you what happened later on into it. Everybody sliding, and bam!
Man, that's a hard lick.
Drew White actually ran into Dale Kreider.
Yes, that's right.
Is that Bob Strait also, the red and white car that got caught up in the wall?
Not sure from this angle. Well, Jimmy Kitchens had a tough time of it. There is Bob Strait. Yep, he's climbed out of his Ford. Let's go to the garage area and Steve.
And Jimmy Kitchens from nearby Hueytown has climbed out of his car. Not much left. Jimmy, from your driver's seat, what happened?
really can't tell. Was trying to stay in the lead draft. We lost a lap earlier, and I tell you what, this Dunlop Golf Machine, KC Racing, and Tifco Industries Ford, we were really running good, and we got penalized. You know, maybe I misunderstood the drivers' meeting, but I thought when they dropped the green flag, you could pass on the outside only. And up here, you really have to trust your spotter, and I probably got one of the best. So he said to go, so we went trying to get the Dunlop Ford to the front, and they black flagged us a lap for a stop and go, which cost us a lap. And regardless, would have probably been running that same pack anyway, and we got 3 wide down the back straightaway, and, you know, just ran out of room. I couldn't tell you what happened. It felt like I got hit in the back, and man, I tried everything to save this thing. I got on the brakes a little bit and got off, and I thought it was straight, and it turned around and it started going backwards. And I got back in the throttle and tried to keep it off the wall, and just no saving it, just one of those deals. But hey, with Red Farm and the guys, really learned a lot today, so I'll be good to go when we go to Daytona or back here to Talladega with these plates. Thanks, Jimmy. Thank you.
Well, Steve, you can tell from here, it looked like Kitchens might have come down just a little bit, and Mark Gibson had to go up the track a bit because Mark Stahl came down under him. They were 4 wide, and that just wasn't going to work. It looks like 8 or 9 cars have paid the price. 100 of 117 laps are complete here at Talladega. We'll be right back.
Do you know how close? I'm telling you, that kid lives a charmed life.
Yeah.
Right.
That 14.
But it's just exactly where you could make it.
He was in the wreck.
Continental kid.
You know what? He was like Dustin Hoffman and Little Big Man in the middle of the big battle. He was in the middle of that wreck, and he was invisible.
Right front damage to Stahl. They're doing the old Roush roller deal, trying to get the fender out a little bit.
You okay?
I don't know where Drew White's spotter was.
Gone for a Pepsi. I mean,
how about it?
Oh, that was ugly.
Speaking of the Professional Bull Riders Association, if you want to do a little quick to that was Bob Straight's sponsor today.
Oh.
On the C-pillar, he had the Professional Bull Riders,
okay.
And I know it's going to be on live tonight on TNN.
Then when I do this, you tell me that. Cool. What am I doing? This one?
When I heard that PBR deal, I figured I would tell you.
I thought it was Pabst Blue Ribbon.
That's what they told me, PBRs.
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
PBR.
You're from Chicago. You know what that means.
Yeah.
Pabst Blue Ribbon. Anything you'd like. Actually, if you want to show the wide replay, Buddy wants to point out how the 14 car was in the middle of the wreck and wasn't in it.
Okay.
I won't mention Straight sponsor.
Now, when I quit, you jump right back
in. Go ahead.
Because I'm just going to talk about Bud.
Hey, Pam.
All right. Bill, why don't you take the in-car replay and save the wide one for Buddy?
Monitor.
Okay.
Pretty smashed up.
Yeah, it's
32 car is going to come back in and change to the left front tire now.
Yeah, why don't you just draw 14 to show where he is to start, and I'll erase it.
Okay.
On the second one.
Do I have to say I'm going to draw?
After the in-car. No.
Okay.
Okay. Just this one, right? Tonight on TNN, the one rodeo every cowboy wants to win, the Las Vegas Professional Bull Riders World Finals. If you've never seen rodeo, this is the one to watch. It's tonight, it's live, it's from Las Vegas. 10 Eastern here on TNN.
Speaking of the Professional Bull Riders Association, that was Bob Straight's sponsor for today's race.
How about that? And then it's Motor Madness Friday night on TNN Motor Madness, the biggest, baddest demolition derby of the season. The Intergalactic Crunch-Off, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern on TNN Motorsports, of course. Well, as they pull Dale Kreider's car away, Bill Venturini, take us through this in-car ride.
Yeah, we're riding with Frank Kimmel right now, going down the back straightaway, and he's looking going into 3, and all of a sudden you can see cars starting to bump side by side. Way down on the bottom, that's Mark Stahl. Now Frank's actually dodging two bullets right there. Goes to the bottom, he sees another car on the bottom, one up on the wall. He's just kind of threading the needle right through the center.
All right, buddy. One driver had a charmed life through here. Point him out to us here.
Well, Craig Butts in the number 14, as they go down the back straightaway, that's him right here, and they start down in the corner. Let me tell you, being in the right place sometimes, that's everything. You can see Craig there as the trouble starts. As they make contact going in the corner, you can see Craig deciding to go high there. The contacts on the bottom part of the racetrack. Everything behind him almost got hit there in the back quarter panel. goes right by harm's way. What a place to be. Anything else, he'd have been caught up in it.
And it's hard to believe that Mark Gibson in 59, who was part of the start of that wreck, then got hit again to straighten himself out, that he got through that without incident.
Mark has been a pinball all day today. As we went through earlier, he'd been hit twice before.
At 28, you saw C.W. Smith. He got through it as well, and he's a top 10 car. 102 laps complete. They're getting worked up for a restart here, and we'll be right back to Talladega after this.
He's been a pinball.
So there's really no other drivers here right now.
Here comes the 32 car for the third time.
3 times.
Yeah.
What was that?
32 car to pit road for the third time.
Yeah, I see him right now. Mark Stahl.
That right front is pushed in pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not very aerodynamic at all.
Still a lead lap car, though.
Yeah, yeah.
And hardly anybody else.
Yeah, but let me tell you, the real problems start back under green, not under caution.
Okay.
Yeah, only got 15
unless they can beat it, they're beating it out.
Right here. That's where they beat it out.
They've been trying to beat it out every time, and it's pushed in so far that they are really having a tough time.
We're looking at it up here, but let me tell you, if you're going to have damage, as long as it's not back in the wheel area, mashing it in there won't hurt it. Well, it'll hurt it, of course, but it won't be that dramatic if he can get with a good drafting partner.
15 laps to go. He's going to have a top 5 or 6 finish anyhow.
You see that tool he's using right there? That's what that's what Chris Economaki once called.
I call it an attitude adjuster.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, here's the difference between ARCA and Winston Cup Racing. Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah. Hey, and I remember I set the record in the one year. I won $128,000, and I set the ARCA record for most money won.
Wow. Okay. Alrighty.
Yeah, let's. Hey,
no,
Mike.
you don't. No. Okay.
Mike, let's give that plug.
Yeah. But he doesn't like the graph. What's that?
Make sure we give the Bondo Mar-Hyde people a plug.
Yeah, we haven't done that. We'll give them one. Okay.
But who am I?
Yeah.
And if you want to say, you can say.
When Steve is going to come out,
when you talk about Bondo, say and Bill says say hi to Debbie, the Bondo.
And by the way, also the fender brace on the 32 is broken.
Yep. Okay. Getting set for a restart here at Talladega in the ARCA Bondo Mar-Hyde Supercar Series. One of the sponsors' product being used up in that garage area here today. Well, Tim Steele has kind of been the Jeff Gordon of ARCA. He's got 10 victories this year. He's the point leader. He'll likely win the championship, but you can see he doesn't get to go to the bank quite as often.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, he makes it up in heart.
Yes.
To win for this young driver is just as important as Jeff Gordon. And believe me, money has never been a factor with either one of those guys. They race with their heart.
Tim Steele will make a good Winston Cup driver. Light out on the Pontiac Grand Prix safety car. That's Harris Devane down to the inside.
And the Georgia Peanuts Ford.
And they're helping on that Hendrick Motorsports Mero drive as well. Helping to kick that off. Getting set for a restart. 6 cars are on the lead lap, including Mark Stahl. The fender support on the right front of his car is broken and pushed in. Let's go to the leader's pits. Find out late race strategy. Steve Burns.
Okay, Mike, just spoke to Chad Cummings, Tim Steele's crew chief. He says we think we're in real good shape. He says the car is good unless somebody gangs up on us with Mark Thompson. Just over here in Mark Thompson's pits, they're not sure. I mean, we need to keep an eye. They're not sure if they can go the entire way on gas. That last stop, they may not have got enough gas in the 66.
Set to go on what could be the final restart here. 14. It'll be 13 laps to go at the line.
Well, that second car on the inside, that number 14 car of Craig Butts, if he can get up when they get this restart and be able to hook up with that number 1 Matt Hutter, they'll have their team cars working together.
Right.
See if they can run those Fords now.
Of all the restarts, this is the one that counts. Tim Steele knows that. Watch him rocket out of here to take the lead and get away from these lap cars as they head down to turn 1.
Hutter is 3rd. Bobby Gerhardt is 4th. Mark Gibson is 5th. Mark Stahl is 6th. Good clean restart.
Yeah, both Tim Steele and Mark Thompson got around Harris Devane, so now the two leaders are up front.
Yeah, but here comes Butts on the bottom in that all-white machine, trying to come up and give his teammate, Matt Hutter in number 1, some help. And see if those two Chevys can run down the two Fords at the front.
He needs to be actually tucked behind him and help him.
That's not helping.
That's not helping what he's doing right now.
Well, Matt, you're down in that number 1 pit, and they got some help, but their teammate went right on by.
You know that old saying, the only friend you have.
Oh, turned him.
Oh.
Actually, both cars.
Hutter turned the 14. They both got together and go slamming to the inside wall and out into the tri-oval area. Caution, of course, waves. And both cars come to a halt. Matt Yoakum, what happened?
Well, Mike, I talked to James Finch. He said, don't worry about us trying to get the 14 and 1 cars together. They're both rookie drivers. We want them just to get some on-track experience. Unfortunately, they both got together. Evidently, Craig was going to try to help out Matt Hutter get up to the front and race the Fords. But as you can see, the day obviously ending on a less than stellar note.
Buddy, from here, it's a long lens from here. But did it look as if they were trying to get in line and just weren't cleared? No? Hard to say. Let's wait for the replay. There's Matt Hutter.
I can tell you this, both of them hit extremely hard on the inside of the wall there. That's the main concern now. You can see right there that Matt Hutter on the outside, Butts in the 14 car there on the inside. As they start to come off turn 4, you can see Butts thinks he's clear there. As they start off, he's holding his line pretty good. Now, right there, they make contact. And I can't blame either driver there. I think they, when they touched, it was at a place on the racetrack where everybody gets in trouble if you make contact.
And this impact speed is likely 150 miles an hour still.
And hitting that inside retaining wall, that's the one that hurt. I'm glad to see Matt Hutter was able, he was moving around in the car because he hit that side with the side of the wall, with the whole side of the driver's side of the car.
Matt Yoakum's with the owner of both those cars, James Finch. Matt?
Well, James, first off, you told me this is not what you wanted to have happen. You wanted both your rookie drivers just to log some laps, and voila, look what happened.
Yeah, they were doing real good the lap before. But I don't know exactly what happened down there. I think maybe Greg got into Matt, but that's part of it.
Next weekend, you're going to California with driver Kevin LePage. Are you hoping for some good chemistry for maybe next season, 1998?
I hope so. You know, we're trying to get ready for the 98 Busch Grand National season, and, you know, we'll run a few ARCA races with a young driver. But that's about it.
Well, they're obviously disappointed. Back in May, interesting enough, they almost won the Busch Series race here with Tim Steele as the driver.
Well, you saw Matt Hutter climb out of the car and walk to the ambulance okay. Look at the left side of that number 1 car. It is just flat pancaked after a hard impact into the cement retaining wall, but he walked out okay.
You know, I did that one time here leading the race coming off turn 4, and I thought the car on the inside of me knew that I was on the outside. It's a blind spot. The guy had millions of miles on the race. He had raced 1,000,000 miles, but just for that one instance, he did not see me on that right rear corner, and I come off and thought he knew I was there, and we made contact, and we started about a 12-car pileup down the front straightaway.
But you know what really amazes me is James Finch. Here he's got 2 good rookie drivers, 2 good cars. They both wrecked. That accident cost him $100,000. He's smiling. I got to give him credit. He wasn't upset. He says, well, we'll just go on till next year.
People like Finch understand racing, and the good part was the cars were good and the drivers walked away from them. That's the important part.
Yeah, let's emphasize both drivers are out of the cars and okay. Now look up in this turn 4 area. That's about where the accident happened. The view you see right here is the same view the spotters have. They're on the roof right above us. And it's a long way down there, and it's a long way to call the proximity of those race cars.
What a good point you make, Mike, because where we're standing and looking into that corner, we can't tell if that car's clear or not. So that spotter, maybe he told him it was, maybe he didn't. He couldn't see for sure.
Well, I have a different theory on that. I think you would say Matt Hutter was in third. Your team car is behind you. Give him room, let him go.
Yeah,
You'd have to agree.
I agree. I think they should have actually gotten in line and worked a little better together. But they're both rookies, and they both learned.
The final responsibility rests with the two drivers, not with their spotters or the crews. We're under caution at Talladega, and we'll be right back. You're absolutely right. No, I agree. Yeah.
I agree with you.
It's right behind me.
Yeah, I'm right behind
I'm in the
you.
16 pit.
No, he should have been behind the number 1 car.
Helping him.
Helping him.
Yeah.
Should have been helping him.
Steve, you want to stay where you are or what?
I couldn't help it. I had to tell the truth.
All right, well, let me get my camera going.
That's
Ed
why.
said he was talking to Fat Boy. Fat Boy.
I will.
Fat Boy told
Hey, Ned, are you going to be here for a little while?
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you.
Hey, Pam.
Hello.
Hello.
How you like our computerized scoring here?
I love it.
Thanks, Gail.
We take a 3x5 card, we write on it, we put it up on the computer screen.
Gail's got the cord plugged in her pocket.
Oh,
49.
hey, tell Gail I said hello.
99.
Gail, Matt said hi.
What's that?
Matt Yoakum said to say hi.
I love that score too.
No, well, I'm just trying to help.
That'll be good tomorrow. You and I both, and Ned can all get in.
Well,
on
I like that when we start a replay from a still, and Ned, and you can circle it to show look here, and then get off it and watch it unfold. That's
like what you were doing. That worked good.
Ned does that. Ned's king of telestrator.
Yeah, he is. We don't mess with Ned's telestrator. Ned rules.
But are we going to go back with 10 to go? Oh, actually about 9 or 8.
It'll be 8 because they haven't given 1 to go.
Yeah.
Are the mics? Hey, Matt.
Yes, sir.
Just so you know, in Victory Lane, I don't know if you heard when I did that report. That's a brand new car for Steele if he wins, and they named it Bear so they could race it here. Or, I mean, in honor of Bear Bryant.
Right. Gotcha.
There are 5 cars on the lead lap, and 2 of them have been involved in the biggest incident of the day. Mark Stahl and Mark Gibson, both racing hopefuls for Gibson hopeful for the ARCA championship. Bobby Gerhardt, the only yellow car up in that lead pack, is 3rd. Behind this man, Tim Steele, and 66 Mark Thompson.
Well, you're looking back at Mark Thompson. If there was any question about whether he could make it on fuel, this really helped the caution. You know, cautions hurt a lot of people, but they help other people. Mark Thompson, I don't think, has a fuel problem anymore.
Well, let's show you how some of the other cars got through this one. There's Gerhardt, the yellow car, right behind. Oof.
Gerhardt almost looked like he was going to try and accelerate down to the inside. He had better judgment and he actually backed off of it. Well, that
side glass,
you can see the side glass
come
flying out of the 14 cars.
14,
like.
It's a miracle it didn't pop out when he hit the inside wall there. They were running, I would say, somewhere in the neighborhood of 140 to 150, even though they had gone across the grass strip there. So that was a hard impact. Both cars extremely damaged.
You can't tell me that when we slide across the racetrack and hit that grass, that car feels like it accelerates.
You're exactly right.
Due to the length of today's race, we're going to run over a bit, and my classic car will be joined in progress after we're done here at Talladega. Harris Devane trying to get back on the lead lap, number 33. He'll be on the inside when they get the restart, and it'll be 8 laps to the checkered flag. And they've waved off the restart once again. Devane with 1 top 5 finish this season at Atlanta, making his 3rd start. So we'll have another lap of caution. There are the lead lap cars lined up on the outside. And everybody a lap or more down to the inside. That's Mark Thompson's pit. And there's look for second place point man, Frank Kimmel.
That shot's a little deceiving, folks. You look out the front windshield there and you see the middle bar there in the center. That's called the Earnhardt bar from a wreck last year that runs down this way. What right side there. They don't clean that windshield on the right side because obviously the driver's on the left side of the car. You notice the clearness of the windshield on the left side of the car. It looks pretty impossible to see out of on the right side, though.
All right, let's check in the leader's pit. Steve?
Mike with Tim Steele's crew chief, Chad Cummings. Chad, you guys are down to it. It's showtime. Have you talked to Tim? What is he saying?
He's saying everything feels good right now. We're just hoping that we can, hold Thompson off. Thompson's been strong all week, and we're pretty close to even, but it's going to be a battle of who can steal the air and go the fastest right now.
Well, Mike, it looks like they're enjoying this dogfight.
Oh, yeah.
And well, they should. Now they've got Bobby Gerhart now in third place. Bobby has not been a threat for the lead with his Chevrolet. And he's got Mark Stahl and Mark Gibson right behind.
You could hear Tim Steele just a second ago. With restrictor plate motors, you never want to keep a constant RPM. You could hear him going up and down on the throttle, getting fuel in there, because with that small opening where the fuel and air go through, if you hold one constant RPM there, it'll burn the top out of the piston. So you could hear him going back and forth, back and forth.
So is he trying to hit the squirters and get more fuel in there so he doesn't lean out the top of the piston?
That's the first thing they tell you when you test. Don't ride around here at one constant speed. You'll burn a piston.
Keep pumping the accelerator pump, and that keeps some extra raw fuel in it, which will keep it from going lean.
Unless that speed is flat out.
Yeah, well, then you're getting the max of everything you can get, all the fuel and all the air.
With the restrictor plate, it's like trying to take an air-fuel mixture the size of a grapefruit, the volume of a grapefruit, and stuff it through a hole the size of a lemon.
More like a thimble. That's a pretty small opening.
Yeah, and just this race, they've gone to a smaller restrictor plate for the ARCA cars than they've ever had. So it's been a little different for a lot of these guys.
So if we take the green flag at lap 110, it'll be a 7-lap sprint.
I think we're going to have 2 races here. The 2 front Fords for the lead, and the next 3 cars are going to probably get gathered up and run for second.
It never changes, but right here, this is I said before, this is the most important restart. As you see Tim Steele really getting on the accelerator. Devane in 33 there on the inside. Mark Thompson going with him there. You can see they're very close going into turn 1.
You heard the spotter for Tim Steele call clear down, and he dropped right to the bottom of the racetrack to take the draft away from Mark Thompson on the high side, and did it.
That was strictly just an air move so that Mark Thompson couldn't catch the air off of Tim Steele.
There's Gerhart in yellow, the third-place car. Now it's a single-file draft once again. Mark Stahl in fourth, Mark Gibson in fifth, Harris Devane in sixth. Down.
That looks like a big lead, but watch it go away as Thompson there in the black car, the second car there, moving in on Tim Steele. He's broken away from Devane enough to really utilize the draft of the lead car of Steele now.
And as Tim ran down the back straightaway in the last lap, you saw him actually trying to snake down to the bottom.
Light stuck on. Don't pay any attention to it. Race.
If he starts to do it again, you'll see Mark Thompson probably follow him. He's actually starting to close up on him already.
Still a good battle back behind them. There's Mark Gibson in the middle of that.
I don't know what car that is that Mark Gibson's driving, but it's got to be built like a tank. He's been in 2 or 3 incidents today, and the car still must have some time in it. It's had a bunch of lickings and keeps on ticking.
Mark Thompson to the outside, having a look at fresh air on the outside of Tim Steele.
He was able to definitely run him down in 1 lap, so I don't know where we're going to see here. Tim's not able to run away and hide like he thought he would be able to.
Okay, what you're looking at right now, Mark Thompson has a great race car, but he only likes to run low. If I were Tim Steele, I'd look in the mirror and see where my good points are. I would use that on the last lap. They're feeling each other out now. This is all power moves to use on the last lap.
Buddy, from what I've seen, Tim Steele is fastest from turn 4 to turn 1, but Thompson has an edge here in the banking of 1 and 2 and in 3 and 4.
Okay, Mark Thompson went up, did not gain any ground. He dropped to the bottom of the racetrack. Now he's gaining just a little bit as they come off the corner. These are all things you log, so when you make that charge on the last lap, whether it works or not, but hey, look, he's trying to make it now.
He was strong through the banking. Steele has the straightaway speed. They go back up in the banking of turns 3 and 4. This should be Thompson's advantage. When they get back to the straightaway, call it advantage Steele. It all adds up to pretty even.
Well, it does, but you don't know what Mark Thompson's doing right now. He's trying every different approach on Tim Steele right now. He knows he has the car just as equally or maybe maybe just a little bit faster. But let me tell you, I've asked 100 drivers here with restrictor plate racing, where would you want to be on the last lap? And they said up front, first.
Yeah, we used to say second or third was better, but not anymore. You want to be up front. You can block for 1 or 2 laps.
I wonder if Thompson would draft off Steele all the way down the straightaway. He's going to the outside this time.
Well, he's not leaving anything unturned here. He moves to the outside, inside, to see whether he has a race car that he could do the move without using the draft. I don't think he can. I think he needs to utilize a lot of air current off the lead car if he's going to pass it.
Thompson to the inside, sweeps back across. Is he trying to loosen up the back end of Steele's car?
I don't know. He's taking the line off the board that I've never take right now. So I don't know if Mark's actually trying to screw up Tim or if his car's actually working faster down there.
Might be that Ron Bouchard line. Remember that great Talladega victory?
Well, this guy right here in the 66 is a jet pilot. He knows a lot about drafting and a lot about wind current. So whatever he's doing right now looks wrong to me, because I would be in the slipstream. I wouldn't be on the outside or inside. I would be pulling up on him, seeing if I could get enough run on him at the end of the straightaways. But right now, hey, I'm not going to question it. He's sticking with him.
Well, I would agree, but that time Tim Steele changed lanes twice down, doing the Neil Bonnet down the back straightaway. Serpentine, serpentine. There he goes again. They're up down to the inside, sweeps back way up in the tri-oval. That may provide a little opening for Thompson to get real close here.
Buddy. Well, let's talk about this. We still have 3 to go. Has he really showed everybody how much power he has right now? You see he's high now. He'll drop to the bottom here. He's trying to see if he can get a run coming off the turn.
Now it's 2 laps to go as they came across the stripe. There's Thompson trying his own way down the back straightaway. And sweeps up high.
Same move that they've tried the last 2 laps.
Well,
we won't have to ask this question very long with just 2 laps to go. We're going to see who's got the muscle now.
Only going to have to ask one more time. Off turn 4, through the tri-oval, and on the short chute, they'll wave 1 lap to go.
Okay, now you see he is a mirror image as they go down through the dog leg here.
White flag last time around. Oh, now Steele's running low on the racetrack, and now he slides up just a little bit.
Boy, oh boy. Last time we have to worry about the back straightaway. That's a new approach to it right there. You see Steele coming to the inside. Mark Thompson goes to the outside.
Close, but is he close enough?
I don't think he is. And like I said, Tim Steele can make that car 40 feet wide if he has to.
It's a good thing I'm not the spotter for Mark Thompson. I'd sound like an auctioneer right now, because I'd be telling him you got to use the draft. You must use it. He's closing in down the front straightaway.
Tim Steele drops it down to the white line. Mark Thompson got him in his gun sights. He is close. He's a car length away from victory. Steele will win it. Mark Thompson is second. Bobby Gerhart, Mark Gibson, Mark Stahl. Actually put Gibson back in the 5th spot. He dropped back out of that second pack.
Well, you can't say that Mark Thompson didn't give it his all today. He definitely drove his heart out. He tried every which way he could to get by Tim Steele.
And it could be the best career finish for Bobby Gerhart. 3rd place today for the Pennsylvania driver.
Man, nice job.
On his victory lap, Tim Steele gets his 4th straight win, his 11th victory of the season, 29th of his career, and clinches his 3rd ARCA championship.
Some water down there, Tim, when you get back
We'll be
here?
right back.
Yeah, I'll take some water, man. Woo!
You're not kidding.
I'd be.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't understand it.
I don't know
Me either.
No.
Because he was quicker through the bank.
Yes. So you want to make up your. You want to stay with him down the straightaway.
You don't want to
do this.
Yeah.
It was backwards.
I more or less said that, didn't I?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you did.
Okay. And he did.
He was doing it all
He did clinch the
backwards.
championship.
Yeah, right. He should have been here and then moving in the corners.
Don't say that.
Greg,
Hey,
did
Mike,
he clinch? We're checking.
Okay.
Did he clinch? Greg says yes, he did clinch the championship.
Hey, Matt?
Yes.
4 in a row.
Yeah, it's second time in his career he's done that.
Yeah, right. He doesn't even have to go to the last 2 races.
He's shattering the record books.
Yes. Somebody buy him a cup.
I don't know, Tim. They, they haven't said nothing. What's that? They haven't said nothing.
Said you're in the way. Push you out.
Tim Steele parked at spoiler check there at the entrance to pit road. And the ARCA officials will have a quick look at these cars and then dispatch him to victory lane, where he has amassed enough points to clinch the 1997 championship.
Yeah,
there is the official checking the rear spoiler.
Checking the angle of the rear spoiler. Here in Daytona, the only 2 racetracks that's mandatory.
Gives him an okay. 4th straight win. 11th victory of the season. And he clinches the ARCA title, which still 2 races to decide from second on back. Frank Kimmel, Mark Gibson. And there's Mark Thompson having a word with the officials and his crew for a fine run to a second place finish today.
Well, he's sitting there talking to Bobby Gearhart, the guy on the right in the checkered driver's uniform. That's Bobby Gearhart. A good finish for him. Second for Mark and 3rd for Bobby Gearhart.
Steele pulls into victory lane. Harris Devane finishes 6th. 7th to C.W. Smith unofficially. 8th to Dan Pardis. 9th to Josh Baltus. And 10th to the point standing runner-up Frank Kimmel. Again unofficially Joel White is 11th and Jeff Finley 12th. Those are all unofficial. Matt Yocum's in victory lane with the new defending and once again ARCA champion Tim Steele.
Jubilation running wild. Tim Steele wins a wild one. Woo! The wild Gatorade shower. Congratulations, champ. You clinch it again.
Thank you, man. It was, man, I owe this one, I think, to Matt Hutter. He helped me out there get by Thompson. And I don't think I really had nothing for Mark there, but, Matt helped me out. And, Ernie Elliott built us an awesome piece for this race. It's, the guy's done a heck of a job for me. HS Dye, Stemwake, all the sponsors, man. It's great. Finally won this 4 in a row, finally. And it's, these guys, they didn't sleep much before this race. They've been working their butts off, and they won this race for me.
Well, congratulations, his 11th win of the 97 season. Mike?
Tim Steele brings his Ford to victory lane. And we'll be back to wrap up here from Talladega right after this word. Okay. The 500K has been brought to you by Miller Lite, who reminds you that anything can happen at Miller time. Okay. Okay.
Hey, Mike.
Yep.
If you mentioned Josh Baltes, he didn't really even have a lap up to speed until the race started.
Wow.
Finishing 9th.
Okay.
Good finish for the kid.
Okay.
Are you ready?
You don't have to say it.
No, that's fine. Do you mind a mention for Talladega before Bakersfield?
Hello.
Just give it a word.
Yeah, it's working. Cody and Ron. And we have a very distinguished guest up here, Mr. Ned Jarrett, fixing to go to the Walk of Fame tonight. You got your stuff with you here? You going back? Out the road.
That's what he said. He said, I bet they pick us up at the hotel. I go, oh, geez, it's so close and everything. I can't imagine with all the traffic at the time. Oh, well.
Back in 10.
They're picking up Dale here at the racetrack. Well, you can. TNN Motorsports exclusive coverage of the Winn-Dixie 500K has been brought to you by Miller Lite, who reminds you that anything can happen at Miller time. A wild one here at Talladega. A couple of really wild incidents, but Tim Steele holds off Mark Thompson. Great run for Bobby Gerhart. Mark Stahl survives, and so does Mark Gibson on the lead lap. Harris Devane, then Smith, Pardis, Baltus, who's had a tough week, finally got up to speed when they dropped the green flag here, and Frank Kimmel finishes in the 10th spot off the lead lap. Look back through the field. Pretty wild one.
Absolutely, but it was just like all ARCA races. They start out very, very calm, and they kind of get a little more intense as they go. Always a great show.
Bill Venturini?
Well, yeah, good race. Unhappy to see that Matt Hutter and the other team car ended up getting taken out in a wreck, but they showed that the rookies definitely are the up-and-coming drivers, and that's what ARCA is all about.
Pretty neat show. Coming up next, My Classic Car will be joined in progress. 30 minutes showcasing some of America's favorite cars here on TNN Motorsports. Later today, Hot Rod TV. They'll show you how to fix up the interior and profile Vic Edelbrock. That's at 4. Tomorrow, Bakersfield, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Dodge Truck Stop 300, live at 4:30 Eastern Time on TNN. For Matt Yoakum, Steve Burns, Bill Venturini, Buddy Baker, I'm Mike Joy, congratulating Tim Steele on his Talladega victory in the Winn-Dixie 500K.